is the most important quality in a futsal player, because in futsal play is very fast, and you have to think really fast. You don't have time, you don't have a space. They have to enjoy the game. This finally, futsal or football or basketball or tennis, it's only a game, so they have to enjoy. If they don't enjoy the game, they don't improve. No, they know that. We know as coaches that every day is good for improving your level. So you have to work hard every day. It's detail. It's important for improve your career. The group is the key of success. If you don't have a union group, you can win some matches, you can win some tournaments, but finally you don't win the World Cup or you don't win the European Championship. You need a strong group and everybody go in the same direction. The futsal is totally different than in Europe or in other countries. I think there are good levels here in Australia. There are good players, so they have to work hard. And maybe in the future Australia is in the top.
Round 13's upon us, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Adam Palombi and welcome to Thomastown. And starting things quickly are Western United against Hume. Hume cementing themselves in the playoff positions. They're trying to get out of there, of course. United in the business end of the table. Only sat in third, just outside. Or inside, rather, of the top four. Pasco Vale complete that fourth position. It's getting interesting between that mid-tier part of the table. Of course, Western City have some work to do. They do have the bye, of course, in round 13. They are 2 games off of both Hume and Altona. Currently sat on 9 points apiece, with Altona in 5th place. Few question marks surrounding which way tonight's contest will go, all considered. It's been quite the season for Western United, especially considering the signing of that man, Sakawal Jaron, on the bottom left of your screen. From the social courts to the youth courts to the big stage in a matter of weeks in reality. And it's scary to think that such a player of his calibre was unearthed here in Thomastown. It's almost fitting as something you'd find out of Fitzroy. He had some time there, of course, the likes of Scott Rogan and Josh Allen, but quite the talisman he's proving to be for United. He's firmly in the contention for Player of the Month. Perhaps Player of the Season, considering he's been rather lively. Could have been in there. Klinaris had to slide. Cicek trying to put in a tackle. And in front of goal, Evangelista was in the team of the week last week for round 12. And he opens the scoring with the first goal of round 13 for Western United. Inside the opening 2 minutes, while Jaron was involved. Bit of a scramble in the end. Klinaris couldn't clear his lines, nor Temel. It's instinctive from the goal scorer to poach the effort right in front of goal. And it's United who hit the front early. Temel thought about trying his luck, and that might segue into the lineup for the Black Army this evening. Kardatic is in goal. Hubert Cicek, Mohamed Temel, Michael Klinaris and Turkmen all on court at the moment. Karadag on the bench, of course, with a couple of perhaps foreign names to this Hume FC lineup we haven't seen before. Keep an eye on those players and what they can potentially do. Of course, we are in the transfer window. Signings have been plentiful from many clubs. United have been busy on that front also, with Jake Bassani. He's on the bench. Aren using goal. Fernando Di Moraes, Saka, while Jaron Ice, Parthmos and Felipe Evangelista take to court initially. Sakurada, Mosini, Kerridge, and dare I say Angus Angelatos all on the bench. As Klinaris pickpockets Evangelista. Aaron New had his angles covered. Abdul Mohseni, another name in which hasn't been seen before perhaps, or on a limited number of occasions. Right into the mix. It's frightening to believe that we're in round 13. The season coming to its climax quicker than you believe, as while Jaron was quick to make up some court. It's testament really to how quick this year's gone out of 2024. As well, Jaron looks very comfortable. Evangelista trying to centre it towards Parthamos. Klinaris has Cicek as an option. Chips over the top to try and find UC7. Of course, has been hitting the gym a fair bit in his recovery. Hasn't fully ignited yet from his return following that knee injury, but appears to be in the shape of his career as Turkmen does well. Here is Cicek. Michael Ciaras, the man in charge. It's been quite the turbulent season for him as Cicek had it denied, and Turkmen will turn it in. And it's one apiece. The Black Army claw one back. Cicek's effort was powerful. Aaron New had to respond. The response fell right into the path of Turkmen, who simply couldn't miss from there. Well, he was outstretched to get his right foot onto it. He's done well as you. Thought about perhaps going over the top. Back towards Cicek from Temel. The captain looks to step beyond Di Moraes. Reverse pass, it's brilliant for Cicek. Equally matched towards Aren New. Does well to make a save, and well, following the save, it ricocheted off of Cicek and would have been his possession, which he ultimately used not to his advantage. Temel, reverse pass for Turkmen was the option. Motanka just instructing Karaday to get up off his feet. Anticipating his presence. He's made quite the headway of the youngster from Hume. Speaking of youngsters, no Hamza Chandab this evening for the Black Armies. Evangelista across the face. following, of course, this fixture between Western United and Hume. Quite the game between Morland and Pasco Vale, kicking off at 8:15. Perhaps our tail of the tape for round 13. As Temel, that was goal bound, you know, and on the roof has another ball, courtesy of Angus Angelatos getting in the way. It's got to be at least more than half a dozen now stuck up there. Well, that scissor lift at the end of the year we'll have to hire to bring in. Certainly be worth all its money. So the near post was Temel, and Aren showcasing why he's worth all the gold. Having been acquired from Western City, at his near post had to save. Could argue he's been one of the more key instruments as to how United have found themselves in third place, but Karadag arguably with his first touch of a brilliant one. Hume, who are trailing by a goal, currently lead by one. Turpman's corner, caught out Evangelista at the near post while Jared had him backtracked. There's a free man in the box, and that's well done from Yusuf Karadag. The tall man for Hume installs a 1-goal lead, 2-1 the latter. Cicek back towards Turkman. Temel. Cicek blocked. Just casting our thoughts back to round 12, and it was quite the message from Fitzroy against their rivals of Pasco Vale. 7-goal win in the end. It was 10-3 the final score. United, of course, remain in the winners' column. Or got back in there, rather, with a win against Western City to kick things off for round 12. Morland saw out the show with a win against Hume. By 3 goals, it was 2-5 in the end. As much as Pasco Vale showcased some ferocity, it's going to be very difficult, perhaps almost impossible for them now to challenge for the title. Fitzroy, of course, have a 6-point lead against the Blues. They still are to face them twice more this season. Their first outing wasn't exactly too pretty, but it is Morland, and you simply cannot write them off, no matter what the case might be. But Parthamos went back towards you, inciting a free kick for Hume. The Black Army, certainly with their tails up at the moment. You instructing his wall of Jared Angelatos, Parthamos and Besenye. Looks like Turkman might strike it from Temel. Lets it roll for Cicek. Has it just skew wide. Besenye, nice pass towards, Jared. With Karadag gets around him while Jared's in. Not so much a goal on that occasion. It was palmed away. Cicek went for an absolute slide. He raged forward. UC 7. Took 3 White United shirts to try and bring him down. Last time I'd seen Cicek in person was for a post-match interview a few rounds ago, and he was still firmly in the bulk. This time around, he looks like he's already completed his summer shred. It's Temel. I think about shredding towards goal, and well, the net hadn't done so. Besenye will have the foul as the maiden Heidelberg women's futsal coach until Costa had taken over the diamond, the ring general. Got to water the position. Of course, was at Pasco Vale before signing across to United. His effort towards goal was intercepted. Attic has the footy background. Well, and he wanted to get his shot away. It was like he was lining up for a set shot. He thought the man of the mark was impeding as Angelatos was there. Evangelista couldn't finish because Kardatic was all over him. It's a great save. Almost like a smother. As if we're changing codes. Besenyu back to Parthamos. Kardatic gets a foot in the way. Abdurman Balla, of course, was the former Hume goalkeeper. Kardatic has come in and well, he's certainly made headwaves. That's brilliant from... Oh, that's fantastic! Not brilliant! Whichever way you might want to describe it. Besenyu. That is brilliant from your son. He's been known to have some, well, real dazzling ability. It's on full fruition there. It's a great finish. And let's tie this one up at 2 goals apiece. Despite his tall stature, he moves ever so evasively. He's got quite the cult following upon the socials. He's a man very synonymous with this game as Parthamos. Much of the same. Had a roll away from Kardatic. Backheels towards a vacant Hume player. That of Madeira. Tried to get his shot away and earns a corner. Temel. Madeira heads towards the back post. Turkmen trying to gobble it up. Kardatic gets that for him. His players just getting in the way. It might have been Madeira. In fact, who was just causing some issue for Kardatic there. His own teammate involuntarily. Besenyu with some form of equaliser. Nice complexion to this contest. United not able to really play the futsal they're accustomed to playing. Hume with a rather heavy press each time. The white, green and black are in possession. Touchback from Madeira, couldn't unlock it for Kardatic. Besenyu might have snatched at that. He had a lot more time than he might have bargained for. Temel, heavy touch, Sakurada with the pressure. Evangelista right across the face. United are certainly growing, however. Got all the youth ranks and players they're bringing across. Their pulling power has certainly grown in recent seasons. Evangelista very content with that tackle upon Madeira. Kardatic. Temel, well, was watching on. Turkmen was at the back post. Just too much power on the pass, perhaps. It was that awkward one between a pass and a shot. You with the idea to play it rather short on that occasion for Moseni, who controlled nicely. Just ran out of real estate in the end. Temel to Kardatic. This half, 2/3 of the way done almost. Timoraeus steps in the way while Joan heads back towards him, gets congested. Turkmen spins back towards Kardatic, who goes around Timoraeus, confronts well Jaren, steps in beyond him. Kardatic was rampaging. Nearly went all the way. At the other end, Temel had to be very strong indeed and timely with the interception at the expense of United corner. Chip pass back towards Jaren. Hume looking to reset. Aren wants to step forward. Attic wants to go over the top. And that's one thing Aren has to sort of be mindful of. Attic has that within his background, his arsenal. Mazen Abdallah-esque almost, as Tamil wanted the foul and will get it. It's overzealous in trying to apply some pressure. Whereas Seni on that occasion. Tonka has been rather reserved this evening. Perhaps feels this might be an occasion for Hume to grab some valuable points. As Cicek had great shape. Perhaps a bit frustrated was UC7. Frustrated that a brick wall stands in his way, that of Aren. Threads the needle towards Parthamos. Strength to try usher away Tamil. Double team arrived from Cicek. Well, Jaron, Evangelista on court. Timoraeus. Back towards Evangelista. Nearly had a court behind him. Now Parthamos. Timoraeus, first time pass down court was a nice one. Turkmen impeded that of Parthamos, and this is exactly in the range of the cannon. Hasn't been firing on all cylinders. Might be an argument in season 2 of 2024. The now 21-year-old stands before this dead ball. It's cannon jurisdiction, and it had nice shape. It was Turkmen who had to just plunk it away with his head. As Parthamos, Tamil steps in the way. Cicek gets a foot on it, which allows for Hume to reset. Well, and Parthamos just couldn't get onto the crosswind of that ball from Aren. That's a nice turn away, while Jaren's very late. Nowhere near the ball, in fact. And Madeira draws the foul. Ciaris, well, he's reaching for his pocket. It was rather late. Could argue there's claims for a yellow, perhaps. As Madeira comes off, and Josef Alilic takes the court. Appreciate the fluorescent orange boots, which Alicic is currently wearing. Tamil. Cicek, not a great save by you, and that's even better from Turkmen. Off the fly, on the turn, no worries. Says Imran Turkmen, who puts Hume back in front for the second time this evening. It was a stupid save from you to deny Cicek. And off the half volley, another player coming through the ranks at Hume, that of Turkmen, showcasing why at such a young age he's got all the promise in the world. Quite the finish, quite the match we've got here to open up round 13. Hume leading. As well, Jaron wanted to step beyond Alicic. Couldn't do so. Perhaps too quick for his own good on that occasion was Saka. Cicek had the needle threaded in behind. Parthamos has it on a string, does well, back towards Evangelista. Timoraeus takes charge of the situation, gets a fortunate bounce his way, and fires towards goal, where Attic had to go back on the flight to save, as United have called for a timeout inside our final 3 minutes of this first half. The Black Army and Motanka with a 1-goal lead. 2-3 the score. We'll cross to a short timeout break. Well, Jaron has a corner. Right at the final seconds of that timeout. Inside our final 2 minutes. Well, Jaron! Equaliser! And look what it means to United. They're up and about. They set up fantastically from the corner. And that's what made a response. Off the bar and in from Saka. Well, Jaron, 3 apiece in this contest. Evangelista finds Parthamos back towards goal. Well, Jaron deflecting everywhere. Attic, wow. Rather concerned about the deviation of the ball. Deflected 3 times upon going out for a corner. As there he is. How about that from United? They're trailing by a goal and they currently lead by 1. 2 in a matter of seconds, and Demarias is there from the corner. They left him completely unmarked. And the veteran doesn't need a glimpse. He's done that time and time again across his illustrious career. And upon the reset, United have completely turned the tide. Cicek on the flank, has it roll. It's not cleared exactly yet. United will be alleviated with a free kick that's been awarded inside the D. Cicek was a bit high upon Evangelista, who opted to head of the way. Bassini will take to court. For well, Jaron, and they were very quick there, United. They simply stolen a couple of goals from corners and have the game upon their terms. Bassini trying to showcase his freestyle background with a real audacious attempt of a volley from that angle. Can Hume find something very late on in this first half? Seconds tick down. Alilech moves it towards Cicek. They'll have to shoot soon. You feel as Cicek had the reversing shot towards Alilech that went wide. And will that be a sign to come? As Cicek, out of frustration, puts the ball beyond Darren Yu. United were trailing by a goal. They issued a timeout and turned this contest on its head. They currently lead by 1, 4-3 the score, as we turn for the second half here on WeFroth and YouTube for our first fixture of round 13. United lead by a goal against the Black Army. They have it all to do in the second half. We'll join you shortly. Don't go anywhere. Be back for the second half of this contest.
And everybody go in the same direction. The futsal is totally different than in Europe or in other countries. I think there are good levels here in Australia. There are good players, so they have to work hard. And maybe in the future Australia is in the top.
Grew up with low self-esteem. Was me and my mama, just us in the trauma. Hands up if you know what I mean. I see you, I feel you. I want you to know that you're not alone. I know what it's like not to have a home. Feel like I live in the end zone. I'm the one leading the drives. The crew riding round in a benzo. Red I'll be in charge of my own fate. Left the excuses behind. Now I'm the illest violinist alive. I took the pain and I thrive. But look at me now.
A good futsal player has to be intelligent. It's the most important quality in a futsal player because in futsal play is very fast, and you have to think really fast. You don't have time, you don't have a space. They have to enjoy the game. This finally futsal or football or basketball or tennis, it's only a game, so they have to enjoy. If they don't enjoy the game, they don't improve. No, they know that we know that.
4-3, the latter heading into the second half of round 13's maiden contest. The Black Army trying to find quick response. Well, Karadak goes for a roll. Aren has been on fire so far tonight. He's been saving things most goalkeepers wouldn't. Usually what he provides to a contest is Morland. There's a falcon for your team manager. Although it's shrugged off like it was nothing, I'm sure it's being felt. Quick rub of the head perhaps. As Cicek can't really buy much purchase upon the shot. Bassini, lovely chip towards Evangelista. Perhaps too creative for his own good on that occasion. Can the Black Army try to turn this around? They've certainly played well. Perhaps a quick lapses in concentration. Make this the case. Atik, great release. Equaliser ensues. And it had to be him. It had to be Karadak. Off the turn, it was Atik who provided all the way from one D to the other. He lights up the court like nobody else. It's Yusuf Karadak who equalises for the Black Army. Atik thought about going over the top, and it's catching practice for you. Perhaps Khaled needs some lessons from Mazen Abdallah. Quite the small forwards they'd make in a different code. But nice little chess match brewing here in Thomastown. Deflecting effort. Karadak got his foot in the way and Atik had to readjust. It's one thing about Atik in which you put him right up there with many of the keepers, one of the most prominent keepers across the league. His reflexes, a huge part of his game. So quick to force a reaction and change direction. His overall speed as well is something which it's not really often seen in goalkeepers, but when it's obvious, it's certainly something to really get behind. Of course, it's more about positioning, but it's just so quick in how he reacts to things. So he's reactive to the situation here. Bassini, Turkman cuts it off, steps around Dimoraes. Karadak gets a corner. Nearly had a goal. The back post is UC7. And Hume puts Hume back in front. It's a seesawing contest here in Thomastown. And at the back posts, Hume puts the Black Army in front. Lead changes in abundance. His contests. Just saying to the Morland and Pasco Vale main event coming up that this might be the case. We might be the most promising. Kardatic from point blank range had to stop Evangelista. Cicek wanted the ball and while Evangelista backtracked very quickly. I want to try to get the thoughts of the man in the bunker, Josh Fusco, when he gets a moment upon the game we're witnessing at the moment. Highlights are plenty to decipher. As Evangelista clears towards the scoreboard. Might try to grab the thoughts of Josh Fusco down in the bunker. How are you finding this game so far, Josh?
Adam Palombi, it's always nice to have your voice bring in my involvement. This is a great game. Western United, Hume. At the start, you knew it could go either way. These two teams are such quality. And Hume, they're fighters. It doesn't matter if they go down or not. They're always going to keep pressing to the very end.
As Clanaris just had to get in the way of Josh there. Now to Dimodeus. It's one of those games in which anything can really happen. It's hard to get the immediate thoughts of the man in the bunker considering this contest is firing upon all cylinders at the moment. But a quick note, Josh, it's been a few goals now, a few lead changes, all from corners. Is there any advice perhaps or anything you'd want to see rather in trying to stem the bleeding from both sides, having copped goals from set pieces?
Well, I think one of the things about set pieces in futsal is if it's really good offense, it can be quite difficult to stop, of course. And both of these teams have produced some really great moments. That one, not one of them. But from the set piece, two quality sides, and the management's been amazing.
Cicek tried to go around Evangelista. Thank you, Josh, for all your thoughts. We'll check in with you shortly. It's always good to have a second voice on the commentary booth. Of course, in round 11, it was Fitzroy legend Tyler Lewis having a chat to us. Hope he's enjoying from the comfort of his home this evening as well. Jaron and Cicek go for a cuddle. Well, Jaron didn't like it. Well, he was quick to square up towards Cicek, which Huberty's not really the bloke to get fired up. But well, Jaron has been rather frustrated, you could say, today. He's been awarded the yellow card. He hasn't had the game upon his terms. And having gone up against Sakawal Jaron on the social courts, well, he certainly packs a punch. Not quite literally, more in the way he goes about his business and the firepower he brings to the games. And let's just say there's a Northern Phoenix player, that of Hani Atish, who, having been on the court with both those players, Hani, of course, on our team, it was, well, Jaron who grabbed him, similar to the way in which Cicek had done on this occasion here in the big time, as Evangelista rolls it short. Kardak gets in the way, using his body. Sakurada pierces it towards his advantage. Turkman and Parthamos. Elias wants to go for a ball roll. Now, well, Jaron back in possession. Back towards Evangelista. Parthamos was the target. Clanaris, intelligent. Turkman loves a half volley. Steps around. Sakurada's late. He clips the heels. Clanaris took it early. But the free kick will be awarded to Mo Tanka and his contingent sense a 2-goal lead. They're in nice range here to do so. Huberty Cicek might want this free kick. He's certainly getting behind it. He's the most experienced player on the court for Hume at the moment. Haven't seen much of Gula, who's on the team sheet tonight for the Black Army. But Cicek won't be taking. It's Kardag or Clanaris to let fly. Aren Yu getting the wall in order. Kardag looks like he might shape up to shoot here. Or play the reverse. It's Kardag. Goes for goal, and that was certainly on. Kicks it right towards the Morland side, residing behind the net near our Commissioner's office. Milton Sakos having a intentful watch on his side to come up very shortly as Turkman does well to pickpocket Parthamos, who's isolated, wants to go for a run. Cicek with some pressure. Now with Dimodeus. Sakurada pivoting. Has it stolen away and tried to draw the foul, and referee in charge was not going to buy anything there perhaps. Turkman back towards Klenaris. Karadag, Dimodaeus steps in the way. Back with Attic, who rolls for Cicek. Karadag with some movement down court. Klenaris, the sideways option. Got decent. Purchase upon the shot. It was chipping. Aren really had to stretch. Another corner for the Black Army, and corners so far have proved a thorn in both sides. Where's the movement going to occur from here? Sakurada blocking the near posts. Karadag will do it all over again. Rolls it for Turkman this time. Through the gates, it's Cicek. It was well crafted from the Black Army. The finish, not so much. Footwork, just evasive. Karadag doesn't like it. And this one has the makings to boil over, perhaps. Cards will be issued. It was Mohseni who was rather late. Karadag, upon the complaints, will also go on the book. Hume, of course, have had their disciplinary issues this season. It's all a massive onus now on the officials to just ensure this contest does not boil over. Draw comparisons, perhaps the flashbacks to that contest against Pasco Vale, which was more of a Royal Rumble, more than an actual futsal match. As well, Jaren looks to let fly. It had real power on the effort. That was low. A nice build-up. Hasn't been mentioned so far tonight here in Thomastown. Fans packing in. Of course, a few of the children who train as well in our facilities. Though the school holidays have all wrapped up, it's always something in which it's a real testament to how players make it onto the big stage, all from our youth and school holiday programs. It's quite the unearthed sport, futsal, here in Melbourne, especially in Australia. See how high its roof is as Karadag thought there was a handball. Dimodaeus, piercing effort. Attic all over it. Hume just dropping back at the meantime. Chip ball from Klenaris will work. Turkman to be at the back post. Lucas Cassin watching his former teammates in the background now for the Morland Blues. This contest just getting a bit more even at the minute. Either side not really blinking. Hume have it on their terms. They might have been out of play. Motanka certainly thought it was. The official deemed otherwise. It was Mohseni who kept it alive. Dimodaeus, ball roll, Mohseni. Nice move from United. Might have deserved a finish. Madeira takes the court. Well, Jaren steps beyond the challenge. Karadag. No foul awarded. Yusuf going for a run. He's brought down. Free kick on the edge of the D. Well, Jaren thought he might have been impeded. Karadag was impeded. So we have this brief stoppage. Leave your thoughts on the contest in our comment section. We want to know what you're thinking. If we get to a stoppage yet again, we'll see what we can read out. Just hope that Isho isn't watching. And if he is, welcome. Otherwise, love to hear your thoughts upon what your side are currently showcasing. They're trailing by a goal. Bassini, Moljaren having a chat off from the bench. But on the court, it's Karadag who can provide ample voice to it. Aren New has his players in order. Karadag hasn't got really much room to shoot. Look to roll for Cicek. Dimodaeus with a foot in the way. He really thought Cicek was going to let it fly. Opted for placement instead. As he bounces with Temel, chip down court. He bounces off Angelatos. It falls for Cicek. It was very awkward, that passage. The ball just having a mind of its own. Angelatos made a darting run forward. He controls. He keeps it in somehow. Karadag, well, trying to perhaps falcon our cameraman or take the camera off its hinges with that clearance. A lot of pace with Angus Angelatos. He rolls for Parthamos. Klanaris on the bench. Very content to see the ball be with the Black Army. They're closing in on the final 10 minutes. They have a 1-goal lead. Karadag. Chipping ball for Cicek. He chests towards Madeira. Angelatos under some duress. Couldn't really form an adequate clearance. Dimoraes chipping for Angus Angelatos, and that might have been the chance. He loves an equaliser, but really couldn't catch the ball. But Motanka has called for a timeout. Nearing the final 10 minutes, they have a 1-goal lead as we'll cross to a short timeout break.
Grew up with low self-esteem. Was me and my mama, just us in the trauma. Hands up if you know what I mean. I see you, I feel you. I want you to know that you're not alone. I know what it's like not to have a home. Feel like I live in the end zone. I'm the one leading the drives. The crew riding round in a benzo. Red I'm in charge of my own fate. Left the excuses behind. Now I'm the illest violinist alive. I took the pain and I thrive, but look at me now.
Attic with the throw towards Madeira. Intercepted nicely by a majority of United shirts who got across. Bassini on court. Equalised to make it 2 apiece. What can he provide here? Angelatos. Parthamos caught it. Not very sweetly. Well, sweetly, but not very accurately. Of course, Elias Parthamos has now Nicholas Parthamos. Joined from Northern Phoenix, along with Isho Haskell. Both representing United. There's been a lot of changes at Western this season. So they look to really mould into a team that's going to compete. As Karadag deflecting, favouring you. Angelatos deflecting. Temel is there. Good use of the body. Ship ball from Karadag. Nicely done from Madeira to chest back towards Cicek. Now the forward movement, Evangelista, very powerful. Has it roll back towards Parthamos. Aren, you called upon. Angelatos, Cicek goes down the guts. Bassini steps in the way and just calms it down. United chasing the game perhaps. Hume holding them at an arm's length at the moment. Parthamos calling for Evangelista to quote-unquote hit that. As they tried to find Bassini. The roll wasn't very adequate. Temel takes a ball roll beyond Bassini. Karadag, nice touch to Cicek, who steps inside on his left. Earns a steep side ball. Temel steps in beyond. Dangalatos, another save from you. When United need a hero, they rely upon Aren Yu time and time again. He'll hold them firm into the night. He's certainly holding them to a 1-goal disadvantage. Bassini and Cicek coming for a bit of a collision. Karadag! How sweet is that? Off the fly and in for another goal. That is fantastic. Turkman with a real chip. And Yusuf Karadag, absolutely crafty, off the volley. It was a low effort that was evasive. Aren Yu couldn't get anywhere near it. And Hume have this game upon their terms. We're nearing stoppage time. With 7 minutes to go, they have a 2-goal lead. How can United turn the tide? We're not really sure at the moment. It's Hume who are tactically at the moment just looking that rather bit more pristine. Well, then Hume this season haven't really been run over. A valiant in defeat against both Morland and Fitzroy. Their last victory, however, was against Western City. Dare I say, back in round 8. They certainly need a result to go their way to claw themselves out of this playoff position, which is really becoming talk of the competition. It can really be anybody between 6th and, well, 4th place. Of course, United have a bit of insulation, but after tonight's result, they might not be safe. Always seems to be the case where both Fitzroy and Morland just enter a class of their own. United were challenging, of course. They had defeated Morland this season. The results hadn't gone their way, but just wonder what Nico Ignatiadis is thinking. He's got Fitzroy to close out round 13 at the later stage of tonight. Bassini ran out of real estate. Has to backtrack. Karadag, who lines up for goal and just couldn't keep it low enough. Have a quick glance of the championship to see what's going on. Meanwhile, Temel pickpockets Parthamos, and Yu was the lone soldier. He had to stand tall. Just as we're having a glance of the championship. It's getting rather competitive at the top end of the table for our second division. As that's an awkward, very awkward clearance from Bassini. Left for Karadag to try and get something on the end of it. They're seconds away from stoppages. Well, Jaren, if there's a man to do it for United, it has to be him. Temel, very intelligent. As Yu steps forward, couldn't thread the needle. Might see more of Aren Yu pressing up the court. Temel has an open goal, and it's crept in from the captain. Hume say perhaps checkmate to United. Aren Yu in no man's land. The effort hadn't gone over his head. It'd gone through him instead. And it's Mo Tankaside with a 3-goal lead inside stoppage time. A fair chunk of it left. United had to call the timeout. They got to figure out what to do here. They're trailing a 3-goal advantage, which the Black Army boasts as we cross to a short timeout.
No, they know that we know as coaches that every day is good for improving your level. So you have to work hard every day. It's detail. It's important for improve your career. The group is the key of success. If you don't have a union group, you can win some matches, you can win some tournaments, but finally you don't win the World Cup or you don't win the European Championship. You need a strong group and everybody go in the same direction. the futsal is totally different than in Europe or in other countries. I think there are good levels here in Australia. There are good players, so they have to work hard. And maybe in the future Australia is in the top.
Upon a brief glance of the championship, Carlton Heart with a one-game advantage after the fixtures played. Went to round 11 of the championship. You'll see that live on Sunday, where Joe and perhaps Costa will be on commentary duties. Not sure about Costa. It might just be Joe and Sam, in fact, for your Sunday futsal fix. But meanwhile, it's United have to try fix this contest. They're trailing by 3 goals. Time becoming against them. Aren Hughes, the 5th man. How's the response from 3rd place custodians out of Western United? Demadeus out of play. Aren Hughes has to backtrack. Turkman informed by Temel that there's no rush. This game's on our terms. Now the clock will stop, of course. Goes through the gates of Evangelista. Karadag takes a ball roll. Cicek. Well, had finesse, just couldn't remain low. Brief touch on the championship quickly. You've got St George Bulls trailing 1st place by 3 points. Makes it all interesting for the playoffs in terms of how they could go. As open goal for Karadag. Demadeus had to get back. United really have to try push the envelope and commit players forward, including their goalkeeper, and in doing so, leaving their goals completely vacant. Hume won't mind that, of course. As Cicek chips towards Temel, right out of play. Evangelista has to get this rolling quickly. Demadeus, you, the 5th man. How can United try to cipher? Hume have set up very well. Demadeus draws the foul. Karadag a bit overzealous, perhaps. Fouls haven't been too prevalent, if that's the right word to use. It's had its glimpses of boiling over, but nothing too crazy on that front as Demadeus, pass goes afray, but he gets back just in time. Good positioning to deny Karadag, who's been on fire. Karadag right into Jaron. We'll do it all over again. 3 minutes, 40 seconds left. Motank had a look at his screen, but it's not working. Demadeus steps in front of Turkman. Cross towards Cicek, fine control. Chips it up to his advantage. Evangelista heads it away. Now Demadeus, United quick to install the 5th man. Evangelista with a tumble. It's not sure what's occurring here. Temel's adamant it's his ball. No, Temel not exactly too happy with how Evangelista's gone for the ball there, saying there's a bit of danger involved. In a very gentlemanlike way, diplomatic way, they're having a conversation about it, which is what you want to see. Not so much an argument, there's smiles involved, and that's what we like. We love it. Not like it, we love it. Josh Fusco, your thoughts on what we just saw there between an opposing player and manager just shaking hands. Mid-game, mind you.
You know, that's exactly what you want to see in the league. I guess you don't want to have a situation that occurred, you know, a couple of weeks ago where it was a bit rough and rowdy ways, but That's exactly what you want to see. Two teams, solidarity between them, nothing better.
Turkmen has an open goal, although Timotheus was part goalkeeper for the meantime. Josh United, of course, very provocative, trying to get the fifth man working in their favour, but it's a testament to how well Hume have set up. They're not showing them a glimpse at the moment, are they?
Absolutely not, and they're not playing it to West United. They're not playing it very well, this fifth flying keeper. They only have 3 minutes to try and salvage three goals, so it's not looking very good for the side in black and green.
It's been quite the performance from Yusuf Karadag. I feel as if he might be our player of the match. Is that a nice foreshadow, perhaps, Josh? Is that adequate enough?
Foreshadow?
Our player of the match, would you say it's Karadag so far? I believe it is, as meanwhile Turkmen, no worries at all. He pickpockets Timotheus. You mentioned, Josh, it wasn't working for them. It's hugs for the Black Army. They're going to storm into the 3 points, which they so desperately needed. They haven't been in the winners column since round 8. Motanka embraces Turkmen, who's really embraced this contest. And they're hungry for more as Karadag has an open goal. He couldn't pierce it towards the vacant sticks. But, oh, Josh, looking at this contest, your player of the match, I feel like it has to be between Turkmen or Karadag.
I would have said Turkmen has been very good this game. But again, you can't really fault the whole team. They've all done their job. They're up 4 goals against his third place side, which is Western United. And if that doesn't show you how difficult it is to get a win in this league, if you're not Fitzroy or Morland, I don't know what will.
Thoughts on Parthamos, Elias? That of Elias. He hasn't really been at his fluent best this season. It's not the real outlandish take to have, but it must be said.
This is definitely not the best we've seen of Elias, of course. I mean, you know, when I think of like Elias, from what I've seen in my time here, I think in that first season in Camberfield, he was really something special.
Meanwhile, of something special, Josh, it's Karadag. That is something special. You said it right on cue. And Hume are closing in on what could be their heaviest win of the season. Talk about something special. Of course, Elias Parthamos has it all in abundance, but Yusuf Karadag is a player that's really emerging this season. And what can really be said about such a promising player?
I can't believe he just did that to Aren. That is just, I mean, the audacity to do something like that. He's a strong player. He's a great player. He's something extra for Hume when he does play. But that's a problem with Karadag, is he doesn't play every week and he doesn't play for most of the season. So he is kind of like that extra. It's like your lone player in FIFA. He comes on, he does the job, but really you need someone consistent there in the Hume side to push them forward as a club.
He's nearly in there again. I've lost count of how many goals he might have scored tonight. He's been very involved. Last 90 seconds, United will try to find a consolation prize. Of course, United having a nice presence of their women's side in the stands. Al Jaron and I believe Amanda Araha having a watch on. They're doing rather okay in the women's competition. It's quite the 2-horse race perhaps between both United and Preston, led by Jamie Sultana. Karadag tried to find Cicek deep in this one. Evangelista opened the scoring, has it roll for Parthamos. Trying to go around Temel. It's like going around the Great Wall of China. Seni has been quick to learn. Dare I say it's AQ and United who are currently at the top end of the table. Fitzroy and Preston just lurking in 3rd and 4th. Always a nice fix on Wednesdays as Evangelista! That's one way to pull one back. It'll be a consolation prize at that. Not sure what's been in the air around Thomastown in recent weeks. The acrobatics have been on full display. It's Ferret Castro for United, who started them with a bicycle kick. Lucas Vaz thought he'd enter his, well, acrobatics ability into the raffle, and, well, Evangelista does so. Josh, we need a replay on that. That was absolutely silly. It's a shame that it won't mean much, but what a goal that really was. As Chichek, right on the logo. Inside stoppages, we'll see a fan in the crowd and kick towards him. Evangelista holding it up. That's brilliant from Chichek, trying to unlock. And Lilic has Bassini deep in the contest. You expect Karadak to come across for a post-match interview. Attic will slide along the court. So a last play from Hume. Might be a real last-minute free kick. Oh, last second free kick, mind you. But the Black Army get the job done. Their first win since round 8. They couldn't close the show with a goal, but they get the job done. They win in rather comprehensive fashion. It was a topsy-turvy game in the opening, dare I say, 26, 27 minutes. Once Hume had a 2-goal lead, they had it upon their terms and were eventually winners with the full-time score. Hume FC 9, Western United 5. A 4-goal win for Mo Tanker and his side. You feel as if the post-match press conference will be awarded to the player of the match, of course, in which the commentator believes to be that of Yusuf Karadak, who performed rather impressively, if that's a word, for this contest. But we'll join you for our post-match press conference very shortly for round 13 of the Series Futsal Men's League competition. Black Army. 3, 2, 1. We're joined by UC7 of Hume. Quite the win tonight against Western United. Your first win in a few rounds. Your immediate thoughts?
Yeah, it's actually been the last team that we beat was Western City. I think it's been 6 rounds. You know, it's been very disappointing for 5, 6 games. We haven't been able to get the result. We start off really well every week. You know, we took a head-to-head with Morland, with Fitzroy. We're up on both games, and then we just fall apart in the second half, give the game away, and then lose. And pretty much we said on Wednesday, like, look, boys, we go good for 23, but we've got to do it for 46. And credit to the boys. We went down, so we went up twice, and then we went down twice. But then we bounced back. We had a solid second half. This was the first week that we had a solid second half, and it was a really, really good game. Credit to Western United as well. Great team, but in the end of the day, we got the result. Yeah, proud of the boys.
Would you say tonight the key to victory was holding the shape, considering how defensively sound Hume were? Is that something Mo Tanker has been building in recent weeks?
Yeah, of course. Tank's been telling the boys we haven't had consistently players coming in, coming out. We couldn't, build the shape, build that defensive structure. And we've been working really hard on that on Wednesday and the past few Wednesdays as well. And I think, today it really clicked and it's starting to work. And I think it'll get better from here.
And just finally, your thoughts on the remainder of the season. Of course, Pasco Vale do have a 3-point advantage in the playoff positions. Given that you have to, of course, play Pasco Vale and all the big teams yet again, your thoughts on the remainder of the season and how you try and look to finalise it?
Yeah, look, it's going to be very tough. We've made it very difficult for ourselves. We're sitting second last, in the relegation playoff, as I said. We're just going to take it week by week. We got the 3 points today as a good result, and we pretty much take that. Next week to bye, but we take that into the following week with Western City. Try to get 3 points there, and that's another 3 points, and then we'll go ahead from there. Yep.
Appreciate your time, UC7 of Hume. They got the 3 points out of Western United this evening. We appreciate his time.
Have to enjoy. If they don't enjoy the game, they don't improve. No, they know that. We know as coaches that every day is good for improving your level. So you have to work hard every day. It's detail. It's important for improve your career. The group is the key of success. If you don't have a union group, you can win some matches, you can win some tournaments, but finally you don't win the World Cup or you don't win the European Championship. You need a strong group and everybody go in the same direction. The futsal is totally different than in Europe or in other countries. I think there are good levels here in Australia. There are good players, so they have to work hard. And maybe in the future Australia is in the top.
suffered low self-esteem. Was me and my mama, just us in the trauma. Hands up if you know what I mean. I see you, I feel you. I want you to know that you're not alone. I know what it's like not to have a home. That love now audible. Feel like I live in the end zone. I'm the one leading the drives. The crew riding round in a benzo. Red I'll be in charge of my own fate. Left the excuses behind. Now I'm the illest violinist alive. I took the pain and I thrive, but look at me now.
A good futsal player has to be intelligent. It's the most important quality in a futsal player because in futsal play is very fast, and you have to think really fast. You don't have time, you don't have a space. They have to enjoy the game. Finally, futsal or football or basketball or tennis, it's only a game, so they have to enjoy. If they don't enjoy the game, they don't improve. No? They know that we know as coaches that every day is good for improving your level, so you have to work hard every day. It's detail, it's important for improve your career. The group is the key of success. If you don't have a union group, you can win some matches, you can win some tournaments, but finally you don't win the World Cup or you don't win the European Championship. You need a strong group and everybody go in the same direction. The futsal is totally different than in Europe or in other countries. I think there are good levels here in Australia. There are good players, so they have to work hard. And maybe in the future Australia is in the top.
grew up with low self-esteem. It was me and my mama, just us in the trauma. Hands up if you know what I mean. I see you, I feel you. I want you to know that you're not alone. I know what it's like not to have a home. Feel like I live in the end zone. I'm the one leading the drives. The crew riding round in a benzo. Red I'm in charge of my own fate. Left the excuses behind. Now I'm the illest violinist alive. I took the pain and I thrive, but look at me now.
A good futsal player has to be intelligent. It's the most important quality in a futsal player.
Arguably, billed by many as the main event of round 13 is upon us. Pasco Vale take on Morland. A contest which has repercussions at both parts of the playoffs and top half of the table. In terms of Morland's total race, in which they're still in the hunt for. They have to try claw some points back against Fitzroy and build up to the second Classico of Season 2 in 2024. My name's Adam Plumby. Josh Fusco will join us from the bunker, not on commentary side, for this clash, in which is built to be rather exciting. Josh.
Adam, it's already kicking off. Javaro, absolutely whopper of a shot there at Prostalakis. It's going to be a great game. Pasco Vale have a point to prove after last week. Let's not talk about last week, because that was an embarrassing loss, and they know it, and they're coming out here against the second best side in the league based on the table, and they have a point to prove. But Morland, they're going to want to show this side just how good they are.
Well, of course, it has been quite the season for Pasco Vale. They've been involved in, well, let's say, a few dramas as Pimenta and Assumpção collide, and it's Pimenta of Morland who wins the free kick. Milton Sakos has got many of his usual Morland side all together this evening. Christos Apostolakis is in goal, Enrique Pimenta, Adam Cooper, Oliver Holland, Lucas Cassin, Andre Caro. Many but a few, as Assumpção had to block that Cooper effort. KDS, the captain, is on court. Andre Caro and Ata Ibrahim also on the starting sheet, as provided by their coach. As for Maurizio Novak, Jarvis Gins, the goalkeeper, Assumpção, the raging bull, Arturo Diaz, Javaro Nepomuceno, and Shavin Ahn all on court. Oscar Yee is on the bench, alongside the likes of Yao da Silva, Joaquin Jimenez, Albion Carchi, and Lucas Vaz. In fact, Lucas Vaz, although on the team sheet, isn't on the bench. Not sure of his whereabouts. And a Robocop. As Josh mentioned, both these sides, of course, have quite the history. Pasco Vale the point to prove. They certainly had quite the talking words at the start of the season. And although they had come up very well short against Fitzroy, they certainly have a bit of rectifying to do in this outing against Morland. Nepomuceno moves it on for Assumpção. Towards Nepomuceno, the raging bull. Here in the last fixture against Morland, as the fifth man had scored on a couple of occasions. It was quite a game. As rounds ago, as was fizzed across the face of goal. De Santos keeps it alive. Pimenta works it into the centre court. And a snapshot effort by the raging bull gets this one taken off. He barely had a glimpse at goal, and there was nothing in which all the brilliance and experience of Christos Apostolakis could have done to keep it out. Jorge Arturo Diaz, an absolute Bobby Dazzler into the top right corner, and that's Pasco Vale who hit the front early. Talk about goals of the round, Josh. That has to be in firm contention. What a goal from Diaz.
Absolutely, Arturo Diaz coming onto the court. Point to prove, as I said, and they go ahead against Morland, but don't you worry, folks at home. Any Morland fans out there, Morland usually start a bit slow, particularly this season, and it takes them at least a half to warm up, so they would like to hope that they can keep this game under control enough against Pasco Vale.
Sumsau, very crafty inside his own half. Gets it back from Nepomuceno. What can Sumsau try to provide here? He's confronted by KDS. Diaz gets it ricocheted in his favour, back from Cooper. It bounces right on the logo. It's strong by Aren on that occasion, as Atai just ushers the ball out. Asumsau has a glance towards Nepomuceno. Atai cuts it off. He's got KDS as an option. Captain has to rekindle. He does so with Cooper. He thought about trying his luck, and Adam Cooper, that's outrageous! That is one way to respond from Adam Cooper, who takes the roof off with a stupendous goal.
Adam, I have no words. I mean, I'm just sitting here with my mouth open watching that. Did you just talk about goal of the week? Don't even, there's no contention. There's nothing. Get it off, that's it. That's the one, Adam Cooper. What an absolute thunderbolt from the Futsal.
Although our Netflix sponsorship is years in the making, and profanity is not exactly something we can execute on YouTube and WeFroth.
Yeah.
There is many words you can use to describe that finish from Cooper. I have to pull out the thesaurus, but one word to capitalize it the best way we can is absolutely emphatic. That's two words, Adam. How many words, Josh, can you use? Adam Cooper.
There's only one way.
That is absolutely stupid.
There's only one way to describe it, Adam. Goal of the week. Period. Lock it in.
Meanwhile, at the other end, it was Apostolakis who had to palm it into his mid-grip. It was, on that occasion, for Pasco Vale. Their man of Aren having a stab at it. Carter was caught in the crossfire. The Doctor on court. This one apiece. A couple of great goals to kickstart our main event. As Nepomuceno confronted by Cooper. Gets it back from Aren. Javaro goes for a tumble with the Doctor now. Atai wants to storm. Ibrahim's effort shut into the palms of Jarvis Gin. Diaz, Nepomuceno got his shot away. It's at a comfortable height for Apostolakis. Out to Santos. Out to Andre Caro. Adam Cooper. Don't give him an inch of space. Ibrahim back to Cooper. Well, he can score them from practically outside the D from his own half, but the D inside his attacking one, not so much. The more I think about it, Josh, the more I simply get distracted. That was absolutely crazy. We need another replay when we get the chance. It was, oh, wow. Wow from Adam Cooper. And a contest fitting of such, it simply will rely upon those magical moments. We've seen a couple from both sides already. As the clearance from Yalda Silva. Hadn't really gone on their own. Just watching the replay of his celebration, he didn't even seem too fazed by it. Not sure about the viewers at home, but if I scored a goal like that, the shirt would be coming off.
Adam Cooper does this day in, day out, doesn't he?
It's almost like going for a walk with the dog, isn't it? From Adam Cooper, it's just something so standard. But nothing standard about it at all. There's, well, the Lions do draw a free kick deep inside their half. The raging bull behind it, Oscar Yee, will enter the court, having signed across from Western United. They've been rather ran dry. Their playing talent as the needle was threaded from Jorge Diaz. Dos Santos kept his balance, but couldn't go around De Silva. Josh, this is where I say we need a commentator's camera. Considering my reaction was almost as if I wanted to not break things, it was more just out of complete, not disbelief, just, what's the right word to use? Just surprise, perhaps, admiration, outrageousness, perhaps. Who knows, as Holland was confronted by Yi, angle got a bit tight, but might have seen it on the corner of your screen. I was throwing my arms everywhere, along with the pen in hand. That's gone absolutely flying. Can't exactly keep a tally of the goal scorers as Yi had it from a Sumsal. Atai Ibrahim went for a slide, and he'll be issued a yellow card. So the Raging Bull will have a free kick on the crowd side of the court. So the Raging Bull has options everywhere. De Silva is one of those. Oh, he's already had quite the moment so far, the captain. That one is one I'm sure he'd look to forget rather quickly. Great ball from Ibrahim towards Holland. Diaz keeps it alive, looks to use De Silva. Takes a step back towards Diaz. Chip past Roski Yi, bit of size about him. Bumped off it by Cooper. As he resides on the bench, and Enrique Pimenta his replacement. Switching for Ibrahim was Pimenta. Cross court to Holland, had to stretch a bit. Pasco Vale with a press. Pastelakis couldn't acknowledge the tall lumber of their man Atai Ibrahim further down the court. And although the goals came in quick succession, Josh, it's rather slowed at the moment on court.
It's a tactical game, Adam. And Morland are a team that likes to take control of the game. Pasco Vale, obviously, they like to move a little bit quicker, like to isolate. We should see a little bit more of that. We'll see it here from Mateus.
Sumsal going for a dance with Pimenta. Equal dance partners in their own right. Individual fronts, Pimenta who wins out on that occasion. Sumsal gets it back. Goes around Pimenta, gets his shot away. Took a deflection out of a large one. And goes out, dare I say, a corner. Or it could be a deep side ball. It was rather evasive the way the ball rolled out of play. No, it will be a corner. Yi at the near posts. Morland having to defend yet again. Another corner. De Silva behind it. Sumsal was calling for it rather deep. Holland steps in the way. Pimenta wants to go for a run. So well done from the Raging Bulls. That from behind from Pimenta. Play getting a bit stuck in that part of the court. Carroll comes into play. Oski Yi couldn't acknowledge De Silva. Wasn't exactly too thrilled with himself either. As Ibrahim let it roll for Pimenta. Yi had to get in the way. Jarvis Gin positioning himself ready to react to what's forthcoming. It's Ibrahim. As it roll, Pimenta across the face, Holland! Ooh. Crossbar! Well, Jarvis Gin perhaps counting his lucky stars. He had committed, it got all a bit confusing. And Holland wasn't too far away from a Morland lead. As a Sumsal goes for a dance with the doctor. Ibrahim rampaging through. That's a brilliant goal from the Blues. It's Holland at the back post to claim it. But it's all about the assist from Atai Ibrahim, who absolutely bullied his way through the court. From one D to the other. Went round pretty much all the Lions and put on a plate for Holland, who simply couldn't miss. A game of quality so far. There's nothing lacking in that assist from Atai Ibrahim. Made it very easy for Oliver Holland to put the Blues in front. How will Pasco Vale respond? It was similar to last week, in which a Sumsau was involved in against Fitzroy. The Tigers, of course, got the game upon their jurisdiction and ran right in the end. It was Cosy Russo's show. As Dos Santos had an open goal, he was very keen to dispatch an effort. But there was a foul in the build-up. Josh, Pasco Vale last week, this is where, although they had clawed themselves back into the game, in doing so, they've got to be cautious of not overdoing it and leaving themselves open at the back.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think another thing that you need to consider is I think they tied themselves out with their game plan last week against Fitzroy. Completely individual showing.
Adam Cooper got to work. He put his head down. I'll tell you what, I couldn't imagine how Jarvis Jim was feeling. I was behind that net and still felt as if the ball was coming right towards me. It was hit like a bullet. Lucas Vaz is on the team sheet because he's in there. He's in Serious Futsal Arena. He's on the bench. He came from the locker room. He looked to be involved early enough, I'm sure. He's warming up, ready to go. See how that bodes well for Pasco Vale. As Pimenta! Get around the Blues. They're getting on top of this contest with some goals right from the top shelf. The Cooper and Pimenta combination. Deluxe indeed. The reverse effort towards goal. Hit the post and went in. Nothing Jarvis Jin could do. The Blues have a 2-goal cushion. Goals of the highest order in this contest. It's really hard to pick which one in which will take home goal of the round. There's a few candidates early on, but Pasco Vale will have to try shift into that extra gear to get themselves back into this contest. They trail by 2 goals. Great finish from Pimenta. The pass will go afray on that occasion, but Josh, just quickly, it's such a hard skill to master the reverse effort towards goal. He didn't just master it, he finished it with giving Jarvis Jin no chance of saving it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is an experienced Morland side. This is what they do. This is their bread and butter, scoring goals and winning games. Absolutely. I'm really worried now with the way Morland are playing and the way Pasco Vale are playing that this could actually turn into a blowout worse than what they had against Fitzroy.
Javar Nepomuceno was too eager to get the ball rolling quickly, and in doing so, gives possession back to the Blues. And dare I say, this is vintage Morland. This is the Morland that, as a neutral, you absolutely love to see. You're terrified, of course, for the opposition, but getting all their players on song, of course, throwing an in-form Attai Ibrahim into the mix, having their players fire up on all cylinders. It is something in which you really do like to see. Jarvis Jin, not usually a player in which gets fired up, but he's come together with Pimenta. Adam Cooper having a chat, of course, as well. Malcolm Siasi, do like to see it from the official in charge, just trying to calm things down before they do come to a boil. That's what we like to see from the official, just installing his authority upon the contest. But back onto the point about the Blues, Josh, they're certainly showcasing some of their bests, trying to get back to their best, of course, for that upcoming Classico, which isn't too far away. And so far, for goals are to showcase what they're made of. Might be the case as it's a great ball from Cooper, and now Aren wants to go right down the middle. He breaks through the tackle of Cooper. Dos Santos takes over, heavy touch, Cooper is there. He couldn't get his feet right. Ended up hitting the post instead. They broke away numbers there, Morland, and was so close. Adam Cooper looks up to the heavens, and although the ball rolled away from him, he still got an effort towards goal. Pasco Vale committed men forward, and that's exactly, Josh, we mentioned they had to be careful. How has Cooper still gotten an effort away? You scratch your head and wonder. Pimenta, shot blocked by the Raging Bull. Dos Santos was happy to let it usher out a play. Morland still fresh off their victory in the Turkish derby last week. Hume back in the winners column. Pasco Vale with an attentive eye on the Black Army, considering that playoff position in 5th place is, well, could be anybody's. That 4th place spot that avoids all that playoff drama. What's up for grabs, you feel, for both Pasco Vale and Hume as the season ticks on. United also getting into that mix. It's the gulping class between Fitzroy and Morland just yet again rears its head out to play. It's Diaz. Pastelakis with his experience comes off his line. Joaquin Jimenez donning the number 2 this evening, usually see him in the number 3 or 4. Ibrahim does well, nice positioning. Tried to go around Dan. Jarvis Jim wants to slow the contest. Lucas Vaz has the bib off. He wants to get in the game. His boots is fluorescent as the bib he's holding. Aren back towards the Raging Bull. He opened the scoring. Asumsao back to goal. Pastelakis goes for a slide. But it's Novak calls for a timeout. They have a corner upon the game coming back to life. And here a response. A few minutes remaining in this opening half. They trail by 2 goals. What do the Lions have up their sleeve? We cross to a short timeout break.
Grew up with low self-esteem. Was me and my mama, just us in the trauma. Hands up if you know what I mean. I see you, I feel you. I want you to know that you're not alone. I know what it's like not to have a home. What a bow. Feel like I live in the end zone. I'm the one leading the drives. The crew riding around in a benzo. Ready to I'll be in charge of my own fate. Left the excuses behind. Now I'm the illest violinist alive. I took the pain and I thrive. But look at me now.
A good futsal player has to be intelligent. It's the most important quality in a futsal player because in futsal play is very fast, and you have to think really fast. You don't have time, you don't have a space. They have to enjoy the game.
Nepomuceno has the corner. 3 minutes roughly remaining in this opening half. Vaz is there. Aren headed towards his direction. Pasco Vale simply have to try to find some form of response. They aren't to before half-time. It could be a blowout similar to last week. That's the prediction forecast by both myself and Josh in the bunker. Vaz takes the court. He's a player you'd want featuring if you're a Pasco Vale fan. Aren done well, you know, to get the ball cross-court. Nepomuceno flat-footed. Another player in which you'd feel have to ignite, of course, for Maurizio Novak and trying to get back into this contest as he squeezes Ibrahim out of play. And from Kawako, having done some investigative journalism upon Javaro Nepomuceno, at one stage, it's under the management of Gus Hiddink for Kawako. Josh, get the fact check out. It did happen.
Curacao.
It's happened too many times. Tell you what, deduct this week's pay for the Curacao national side.
We should actually have one of those, you know, you have a swear jar Yeah, you should have. I mispronounced the name, Joe.
Well, tell you what, I'd be in debt. Snipper Messino finally got his name right. Vaz. The man from Curacao wants it back. Assumpsao towards Vaz. No real time to get an adequate pass in his direction as we close in on the final 90 seconds. The Javaro show, well, hasn't really been firing upon all cylinders. There's been a few players this season which haven't lived up to the heights in which they, well, determined to off the back of their first season. And we witnessed at the opening half of the year. Perhaps some newcomers taking the limelight away from them. There's Ibrahim to Cooper. Brilliant ball for Cardo. Fortunate perhaps for Pasco Vale. They can find a goal. It would set them up nicely for the second half. The next goal in this contest he feels important. Jarvis Gin for a Assumpsao. No players are really formatted down court. Dos Santos steps in. Javaro blocks for a corner. If D-Man is watching, of course, we'd love to hear your thoughts upon what you've witnessed so far. Anyone on the live stream also. Vaz had to clear. That really could have gone in. It's been a couple of occasions now for Morland where they've been right in front of goal. And have just not been able to turn it in. Perhaps keeping this game just in the grasp of Pasco Vale. It's a great ball. Jarvis Gin had to commit. I hope Kenta Sasaki, Quintino is watching. Just saw your comment now. Residing in Germany currently. We do miss your presence upon a futsal court here in Thomastown. We hope to have you back soon. As for the viewers watching at home, we'll join you after this little halftime break. Pasco Vale started the scoring with a nice effort from Arturo Diaz. What ensued was some absolute trailblazing moments from Adam Cooper and his company as they have a 2-goal lead. They with the scoreline at 3-1. It's all to do in the second half for Maurizio Novak. How can they turn the tide? We'll find out after this halftime break of round 13 of the Series Futsal Men's League.
I grew up with low self-esteem. It was me and my mama, just us in the trauma. Hands up if you know what I mean. I see you, I feel you. I want you to know that you're not alone. I know what it's like not to have a home. Feel like I live in the end zone. I'm the one leading the drives. The crew riding around in a benzo. Red I'm in charge of my own fate. Left the excuses behind. Now I'm the illest violinist alive. I took the pain and I thrive, but look at me now.
A good futsal player has to be intelligent. It's the most important quality in a futsal player because a futsal player is very fast, and you have to think really fast. You don't have time, you don't have a space. They have to enjoy the game. This finally futsal or football or basketball or tennis, it's only a game, so they have to enjoy. If they don't enjoy the game, they don't improve. No, they know that we know as coaches that every day is good for improving your level, so you have to work hard every day. It's detail, it's important for improve your career. The group is the key of success. If you don't have a union group, you can win some matches, you can win some tournaments, but finally you don't win the World Cup or you don't win the European Championship. You need a strong group and everybody go in the same direction. the futsal is totally different than in Europe or in other countries. I think there are good levels here in Australia. There are good players, so they have to work hard. And maybe in the future Australia is in the top.
Away we go for the second half. Pasco Vale trailing by 2 goals. It's all but on the Blues' terms. You could make the argument that they should be leading by a couple more, considering they've had some efforts right in front of goal where they've fluffed their lines. It's been known that Pasco Vale this season have been the boys on the block with a bit of firepower, a bit of, well, attitude, if you will. They have to showcase it in this half, and a Sumsal nearly with something fitting of what Cooper had done in the opening from the same part of town almost. And that would have been some way to respond. Mateus confronted by Cooper. Pimenta got in the way. Postelakis had to reshuffle the frame of his goal. Asumsau hit it with something. And that would have been quite the start to the second half, which Maurizio Novak was in desperate search of. The Raging Bull, nice touch. His effort towards Vaz. Pimenta now strolling away. Cooper's there. Jarvishin closes the angle. Hits the statured. That's exactly what Pasco Vale had to bring to this second half. A bit of firepower, a bit of fight. A bit of what they've been trying to conjure up this season. They've showcased it in abundance. They're looking rather flat-footed at the back end of that first half. Can they try to find something which they've been talking about? Cooper chipping towards Ibrahim, has it sit on the deck. And that's how Ibrahim is in on the goal scoring party. Just as the momentum started to shift towards Pasco Vale. It had to be Morland who took the wind all out of their sails. And once Ibrahim was in possession, Jarvis Chin couldn't really do much. And Morland have it on their terms now. They lead by 3 goals. Might get the thoughts. Josh Fusco down in the bunker. It looked as if Pasco Vale was starting to build, and just as they had Josh, Morland had the answer.
Yeah, Adam, look, it's been not a great sight to watch if you're a Pasco Vale fan. They've been a bit lethargic, and there's been totally Morland dominance. And despite the relatively close scoreline, 4-1, it hasn't been close, really.
They've only really popped up in just patches. They haven't exactly taken the game to Morland. Pasco Vale really got a point to prove, perhaps.
Well, it just seems like what they're trying to do, their identity, isn't working against your Morland and your Fitzroy, obviously. I mean, they haven't built a system that can actually compete with those top 2 sides in a productive way that's consistent.
Well, they do like to stem from the back, of course. Asumsau, usually the playmaker from that role. He's been rather nullified tonight. He's got a fair bit of lumber in his way. It's the way in which Morland's set up, I'd argue, Josh, which prevents that down-court pass from occurring over the top.
Absolutely, but again, these 2 sides, they don't. You really cannot isolate against them. You really can't take on everyone. They just see right through that. It honestly is simple. They'll probably win the ball back here again if he goes for it.
As a Sumsau bearing down on DeSantos. Rolls it for the Raging Bull. Tried to unlock Vaz with a reverse option cross court. But to touch on Morland, Josh, you could argue that I've been rather critical on the Blues this season. But I will give them their flowers when it's due. This looks like the old Morland. This looks like vintage Morland. I know it's against Pasco Vale, and that might be a representation of how they're playing, considering it's a very even competition, but it's not exactly against Fitzroy. But in build-up to that contest, you'd argue if they're performing like this, in such control against a side like Pasco Vale, what it could mean for the upcoming Classico.
Yeah, I mean, it could give them some confidence, but I mean, at the end of the day, Pasco Vale is a team that could, if they play at their best, compete with the two sides. A game's a game. These guys look a bit lethargic, as I've said. They don't look like they're trying to win. That might be harsh words to say. Fitzroy's a whole different ball game. That's my overall point. Fitzroy is a whole different ball game. I don't think Pasco Vale is preparing Morland for Fitzroy.
Well, just cast your mind, of course, the last time Morland and Fitzroy had come together, it was rather the dominant display from the Tigers. The Blues simply cannot lose on that occasion when they do face each other soon.
Is that a penalty?
De Santos has been issued a card. Pasco Vale in need of a lifeline, and they might have a set-piece opportunity here. We're not exactly sure where from. Josh reckons it might be a penalty.
Just on a quick glance, we'll see it here in more lucid fashion.
Didn't think it was, but it was creeping up
It's a bit
towards the
far.
D. But Lucas Vaz has some sour, and Yao da Silva can definitely strike them. Postelakis coming back to form following his European vacation. Have to get his players in position here. Cooper and Ibrahim, when put together, share the same height perhaps. It's De Silva. Even the body language, though, Josh, upon that free kick. I know Pasco Vale are trailing by a few goals and they want to try to get themselves back in the game, but they didn't look, that hunger, that desire, that fire within their eyes hasn't really been prevalent tonight, and that free kick really symbolised it. It's all been from Morland, who are very close to scoring, as Vaz goes for a journey. De Santos got in the way, but Josh, that argument of that fire, they just don't seem to have it tonight.
Absolutely. Is that a mistake there? Again, that's just a really unnecessary mistake to make. Like their mind seems off, it's drifting. And this is a team that really needs to step it up, because I tell you what, they lose this game, they're in a relegation battle. I'm looking at the ladder now. Hume have just won, right? They're 3 points in front of 5th place Hume. They're in a relegation battle. They could be in a position where they have to play the playoffs.
Might hear the frustration from Lucas Faz, and it certainly might ring long into the night considering what Josh is saying. Hume are notorious, though, of course, of not having the best start, being competitive in their losses, not really being ran over. Just have to try and make things click, and well, they certainly had done tonight against Western United, so the mid-tier of the table gets very, very congealed and not very fluid. Of course, they were in the playoffs last season. That deflection will go in. Jarvis Gin could really do nothing about it. Christos Apostelakis loving what he's seeing. Ata Ibrahim has a brace. And Morland have a firm grip on the contest now. Dare I say, they're looking rather comfortable. And in preparation for the upcoming Classico, they simply cannot lose. That is the latter. Of course, they had dropped a game, Morland, to Western United. Ibrahim tried the fancy option. Yaquin Jimenez looked rather dejected, and once Ata had ran in behind him, he simply just stopped. Sliding doors moments, perhaps, from Pasco Vale. They were leading, of course, in their maiden game against Fitzroy by 3 goals at half-time. The Tigers always finding the means necessary to claw it back. That's, of course, what gave them belief from this season. Alison Lima with those words a few rounds ago. And it's understandable when you're leading and playing rather impressively against such a strong side like Fitzroy. But as Afa mentioned, that firepower is just evidently lacking tonight. As De Silva, Jimenez, and is there something back they can try, conjure up? Pasco Vale, they really haven't had much of a glimpse. Even the goal in which Raging Bull had scored was rather miraculous. It was off the turn. As Arn back towards Yaquin Jimenez to Silva. No Fonseca for the Lions. Proved to be a costly omission. That's Ibrahim leading the charge defensively. Apostolakis. Intelligent. Josh, just for clarification, tell the frothers when that Classico, the second one of Season 2 in 2024, is scheduled, because it's not too far away now, isn't it?
It's next week.
Can't come any sooner. Needed the verification. I thought as much, but I'm glad we've got the confirmation. And Morland know that they simply have to get a result that match. So,
yeah,
the Classicos have been some of the more closer matches in recent history. Of course, Fitzroy having the edge, but it's been really, really competitive. This season's Classico not so much, but look back towards Season 1. Those games were purely box office, so unmissable. Dare I say, Morland were rather unlucky to not have the ball roll their way on those occasions. As Dos Santos, KDS in on the goal scoring party. Apostolakis is loving every second of it. The Blues running away. Mauricio Novak has to call for timeout. The stall warnings sounding in the cockpit. The Blues building for next week, and they're loving what they're witnessing at the moment.
I must want a refund.
Josh wants his money back. We're going to cross to a short timeout. It's quite the statement made by the Morland Blues.
This is I think it's been said already, it's game over. This is 6-1, Adam, and it's not a scoreline we expected, to be completely honest, but Morland making it look like training ground.
Apostolakis hasn't really had the test. He couldn't do much, of course, with that first goal he had conceded. That's handball, and it's all gone from real bad to worse for Pasco Vale. Aren with that nervous smile, he knew he'd touch the ball with his upper arm region, and that's a handball. And this is Adam Cooper country, or Enrique Pimenta territory. Looks like Cooper will leave it for Pimenta, who looked to strike it right towards Cooper, who's trying to deviate it in for a goal. And we're mentioning Pasco Vale's fight and ferocity. It hasn't really been evident tonight. From a neutral standpoint, you're not exactly too pleased about. You'll hope they try to find it in rounds upcoming. They've showcased some glimpses of great futsal this season. Just not exactly showcased it tonight. As Jimenez symbolises the futsal they've played. Ibrahim to the doctor! It's worth mentioning though, Josh, on the flip side of all this, how well Atai Ibrahim is coming into form at an important time of the season. Something in which D-Man has alluded to in recent weeks. Mentioned weight. I remember when seeing D-Man a few weeks ago, months ago it might have been now. This year's just flying by, but he had mentioned, quote unquote, wait till Ibrahim finds his form. And that's what we're currently seeing. He makes this Morland side, already a Rolls Royce, look like the full Monty.
I don't think you can say that in any better way, and that was really just almost poetry. Arte is such a valuable player and so technically gifted. He really adds so much, and he'll be so necessary next week when the big game occurs. You know, everyone's going to be watching that game. It's the most important game of the season, and it's going to showcase the best futsal, I'm sure. Oh my!
Nearly the best futsal from Pimenta. Morland treating this game as if the title depends on it, which, as each week goes by, it's certainly what is the latter for them. But they're making light work of Pasco Vale tonight, and I'm not sure many are expecting this, but I know wherever D-Man is watching, he's loving what he's seeing. Lucas Vaz, there's just under 10 minutes left. Great ball from Vaz, and Asomsao will claw one back. Yaku Jimenez with a nice touch. Postelakis couldn't really do much about it, and that's more like it, Pasco Vale. But you look at the score, it might be a consolation. Lucas Vaz with a nice touch. Appreciate the way he goes about his business, RoboCop. As Nepomuceno. That's not exactly what Javario had to prescribe there. As Pimenta chips towards Dos Santos. KDS confronted by Vaz. Vaz steps in front. Lovely ball towards Javario Nepomuceno, but it's Pimenta causing some issues. The Raging Bull has his fifth man kit on. Maurizio Novak throwing the kitchen sink at this one. Last time out, Diaz has scored twice when called upon. That ripped goalkeeper jersey. Jimenez, awkward. Apostolakis over the top. And I'll tell you what, he was not far away at all.
They have to be really careful. They need to be clinical. They need to be perfect, or this will get ugly.
Vaz. Great ball for Asomsao. He wanted the back from Jimenez. Nepomuceno for Jorge Diaz. Jimenez wanted to come on. Habe leading the claims. He's just watching Yaku Jimenez like a hawk. Postelakis wanted to join the goal scoring party and wasn't too far away, but they have to be careful, of course. They're going to try to be perfect and claw themselves back into it. Jimenez just in that right spot to prescribe a pass. As Jarvis Jin's back in goal. Postelakis will have it with the doctor. Cooper. Great ball for KDS, who couldn't convert from close range. You need three dictionaries and thesauruses to describe Adam Cooper. Just his ability. It's so raw. It's so prevalent. He makes things look easy. Well, he certainly lets Asomsao know of his presence there. As Mateus just remains in a bit of discomfort on court. Cooper was having had a better glance at it, Josh. It's pretty fair, the challenge, dare I say.
We can speculate on the fairness. I mean, he's still up, he's still going. That's all that matters, no injury, which is the most important thing.
Another tantalising player, of course, of Mateus Asomsao. Wasn't far away, of course, at the start of the second half. The opening seconds from firing in a goal to claw themselves back when the scoreboard was a little bit less of a mountain to climb as the comparison for what it's viewing at the moment. Vaz, it works towards Jimenez. Pastelakis with a firm fist. He's content that he kept it away. Asumsao with a throw of his bib at the back wall in frustration. Jimenez has a corner. Vaz the deepest option. Diaz indicated to go back towards Lucas Vaz. Nepomuceno. Yalda Silva a deep option. Javaro looking to try and dance away. Diaz has it moved towards Yalda Silva. It's well done from the Raging Bull, who gets it somehow out of the sky. He has to backtrack. De Silva really could have scored him. Probably should have. Robocop, reverse option. Big save from Apostolakis initially. Vaz pulls one back. Well, they have to be perfect, but they've halved the deficit. They trail by 3 goals. 5 minutes and 22 seconds left, of course, with stoppages. It would take something miraculous, you'd feel, from Pasco Vale, but they're making the 5th man work for the meantime.
Absolutely, Adam. This is somewhat of a heartbeat. Still 3 goals in 5 minutes against Morland, very difficult, but if they can fire up, maybe, just maybe, they can turn this around.
Perhaps Morland, knowing that they're firmly in front, just taking their foot off the pedal, which has given Pasco Vale half a sniff. That's all Adam Cooper needs, really. I genuinely fear goalkeepers when Adam Cooper's about. As Milton Sakos has called for a timeout, there is a corner at the other end once play resumes. Pasco Vale with the slightest of pulses. They're not out for the count yet, but time is against them. What can they conjure up following the resumption of play as we'll cross to a short timeout break?
Futsal is totally different than in Europe or in other countries. I think there are good levels here in Australia. There are good players, so they have to work hard and maybe in the future Australia is in the top.
Inside stoppage time, 4 minutes and 50 seconds left. It's Cooper, his pass, or his intended pass has hit Vaz potentially right in the crown jewels. Do it all again from the corner. As Jimenez leads the brigade, here's Yalda Silva as a reverse option. De Santos, pickpockets Jimenez.
Ooh, foul there.
Has to be a foul, as mentioned by Josh. Yaquin Jimenez, another player in which, for every positive thing he's done this evening, there's a negative that follows it up straight away. And it was on display there as he gave possession away. Just wonder if Pasco Vale can find a goal within the next, say, minute of play. If we could really build the argument for a case back in this contest, as Jarvis Jim will fill that tomorrow morning. Cooper's shot right at the mid-grip. Pimenta on the angle, Vaz on defensive duties, corner for the Blues. Chip ball towards De Santos. Just never really caught it sweetly. Having a quick read of what D-Man has to say on the live stream.
I have to agree. I mean,
Well.
Allison's tackle, that wasn't just a tackle, it was malicious. Or at least callous enough that it had to be appropriately carded, appropriately suspended.
D-Man, of course, rather influential for the Blues. It's influential for the competition as a whole, considering he brought Blacksteel Papua.
That's a card. That is a card.
And the likes of Evan Salmilena, Andy Brynick and Samuel Amos to the country. Pistos Apostolakis has a glance towards us on commentary, and he looks rather satisfied that this game is on his terms. Vaz, the complete opposite, just getting a bit, well, caught up in the moment. Issued a card for his complaints, but it really has gone against Pasco Vale this evening. Hadn't really rocked up with the mentality required. As Adam Cooper, long run up. Oh, sends it a long way. Takes a long ride.
Sends that back to his holiday in Europe.
Cooper looks for Kevin Dos Santos. Isolated with Vaz. Corner yet again. Time just standing still. Stoppage is very fluent. Somehow nearly inadvertently towards his own goal. Pimenta there queuing up the Blues. Hits the post. The frame of the goal goes down.
Oh, wow.
Jimenez had nowhere to go. Maurizio Novak tries to catch that clearance from Apostolakis. Maybe not a goalkeeper, Maurizio Novak. That would have parried right into his own net. The Raging Bull very deep. Assumpção to Jimenez. Nepomuceno across the face. Apostolakis, it kisses the roof, but it was goal bound. Jimenez rolls it for Lucas Vaz. Assumpção across court to Jimenez. Gets it back. Takes a stutter. They're building. Nepomuceno, Atai! Nearly. He barely had a look. The Raging Bull, Atai and Javaro come together. Still going, Nepomuceno ultimately does well. Diaz on the overlap, Assumpção towards Vaz. Time against Pasco Vale, they have to be perfect from here. The Raging Bull, deflecting ball. Atai couldn't go over the top. Bit of valiance, showcased a bit too late perhaps from Maurizio Novak and company. Cooper under some duress. Jimenez will have a deep side possession. It feels as if they have to score from here.
Well, I mean, absolutely. There's no doubt in my mind if they can't get a goal in the next minute.
Not to put emphasis on what happened there, but Joaquin Jimenez, the game is not on your terms. You have to be perfect. And Vaz wasn't perfect either. The Raging Bull had to step in. Pasco Vale with a couple of lapses in concentration. Nepomuceno for Jimenez. Walton Sakos calling for the shape to be kept. They have to be perfect from here. They can't have any blunders. Pasco Vale to try claw themselves back into the game. Assumpção for Vaz. Nepomuceno. Haven't seen him take a shot yet. It's time, it's now, you feel. Assumpção on the spin, he's hit the post again.
Wow.
How close can Matthias get? That's a brace in which he nearly scored. And imagine those two efforts had gone in. Cooper flicks on to no avail. Assumpção agonisingly close. As he's in possession here, Yalda Silva. Nepomuceno deep. Takes a touch. That's incisive. De Silva. Vaz. Wants to look towards goal. He's shot blocked by KDS. He read the whole passage supremely well. Assumpção works it too deep. And time is firmly against them now. Morland just in idle. Have been on that destination to the 3 points for some time. The game's been firmly on their terms, although the scoring had been stemmed. The Raging Bull will be in goal for this corner. Fitzroy and Altona players alike just having a glance in the background. This one nearly home yet as De Silva leads the brigade. Nepomuceno rekindles with the Sumsau. The Raging Bull involved. The fifth man still on order. Nepomuceno. De Silva went down in the box. It sits for Vaz. The Sumsau. Too many touches from Pasco Vale.
It's game.
Atai wanted the advantage. Milton Sakos wants a card.
That's a red.
Vaz will be sent his marching orders.
It just goes from bad to worse for Pasco Vale.
Couldn't have said it any better, Josh.
I mean, this again, they're going to have to play next game without Lucas Vaz. They've lost so many players this season from needless red cards. Just disaster.
Although they have that, well, firepower, that spice that sometimes works two ways, and on this occasion, as to has done for what has done for most of the season, has worked against them. It's a vicious sword, having a bit of ferocity, as Lucas Vaz wants to rearrange the furniture in the locker room. As Josh Allen is just there to say, mate, what are you doing back here? I wonder what they've got to say to each other at the moment.
Well, Josh Allen didn't play last week.
Perhaps that's why they're just having a conversation about it. It's not on your screen, of course, but, well, Morland will look to just toy with Pasco Vale. Opponents next week, the Tigers and the Blues, in what's a season-defining game for Milton Sakos, D-Man and company. Pasco Vale, however, well, they had grand aspirations, but there's a new objective in mind for Mircea Novak, and that would have to be avoiding the playoff positions. Sumsau's on a yellow card. He's got to be cautious. Oh, Ciaris has pulled it out. Oh, he's on a yellow card now, and that's 5 fouls. Pasco Vale take on Western United next week, and what, of course, for them could be a season-defining game. I'm not sure why. You've got players in whom are trying to be out of the contest. Atai took it upon himself. Pasco Vale stopped. They thought the ball had gone out of play. You wonder the thoughts of Jimmy Soufis, if he is watching what Atai Ibrahim has really brought to the table. Simply cannot wait to see what he'll provide in next week's El Clasico. Deep in this one. Pasco Vale will try to find a consolation. Diaz for De Silva. Takes a stutter. Jimenez. Diaz to 1. Silva thought about trying his luck and squanders well wide. Atai for Cardo. Measured pass for Pimenta. Ricochet was nearly unkind. You look towards next week, Josh. You just saw Ibrahim Atai. Cooper wanted to come on. Ibrahim just pulled him off the court. That was brilliant. Adam Cooper was adamant to go on. Josh, I wish that was on camera. Atai literally said to Adam, no, hang on, I'm talking, brother. I'm going on the court. Just pulled him back by the shirt.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Oh, I wish that was on camera. That was such a moment. That was so funny. It's a real testament to the intent from the Morland players. They all want to be involved. Doesn't matter the scoreline or the ladder. They want to be on the court. Cooper will go on. Atai will reside on the bench, but he literally pulled Adam by the scruff of his shirt saying, hang on, brother, I want to go on. Oh, Cooper is on for the corner. He sends it back towards Cardle. Bit of a heavy touch from the doctor. Hollands just directs it back towards a more safer jurisdiction where Jimenez takes the game on. Goes for a ball roll. It falls to De Silva.
It's unlucky there.
Golden chance, really. The ball just goes away from his reach as this contest has been well and firmly over for some time now. The final whistle will make it all but decisive very soon. Pasco Vale, although that ripper they scored initially with the raging ball never really came to life. Morland had it really upon their own terms. Cardon de Santos are trying to form a firework. And they're building at a time of the season where they simply have to, considering it's all to play for next week's Classico, as Holland had a snapshot at it. Cardinal's going to hit the bar. Not that it needed that much power. He'll get it back rather deep. Has it behind him. Asumsao with a push. And that's foul number 6. Apostolakis will square up to Jarvis Gin. Goalkeeper against goalkeeper. A needless foul, much to the needless red card also incurred by Lucas Vaz. Christos Apostolakis for the icing on the cake.
Oh, there's no way it's Christos taking this.
Well, it certainly is the number 1 for Morland behind the dead ball, as Apostolakis has denied by Jarvis Gin.
Wasn't a bad penalty, to be honest.
Well, looked as if Apostolakis was going to place it. Cooper will see out the contest. Morland with the statement win against Pasco Vale. Scoreline, you could argue, not exactly fitting of the performance put on by Milton Sakos and his company. As it draws to a close, Pasco Vale 3, Morland FC 7. We'll cross to our post-match interview with our player of the match. Josh, your, well, immediate thoughts surrounding that contest and who the player of the match might just be?
Look, I couldn't give you an answer on the player of the match, but my immediate thoughts on this game, just Pasco Vale will really need to take this season, take all the lessons they've had and move forward. They're a good side, they've got talented players, and I think if they can keep the core together and they can just adjust a few things, they can be a deadly side in the future. But for now, it's a relegation battle.
The playoff position is up for grabs and look towards next week. There's cases to make everywhere, really. You've got Altona up against Western City. You have Fitzroy and Morland, Pasco Vale and United. There's many talking points from that contest. As well, we're not sure who's coming across for the post-match interview. Jack trying to grab somebody. Not sure if anyone from Morland is coming across to have a chat.
Oh yeah, they better.
Tell you what, we might send it to a short commercial break. Hopefully have a post-match interview coming up very shortly on YouTube and We For Off as we turn for home for round 13. The Tigers and the Knights to lock horns very soon.
You think really fast, you don't have time, you don't have a space. They have to enjoy the game. This finally futsal or football or basketball or tennis, it's only a game, so they have to enjoy. If they don't enjoy the game, they don't improve. No, they know that we know as coaches that every day is good for improving your level. So you have to work hard every day. It's detail. It's important for improve your career. The group is the key of success. If you don't have a union group, you can win some matches, you can win some tournaments, but finally you don't win the World Cup or you don't win the European Championship. You need a strong group and everybody go in the same direction. The futsal is totally different than in Europe or in other countries. I think there are good levels here in Australia. There are good players, so they have to work hard. And maybe in the future Australia is in the top.
We're joined by Enrique Pimenta of the Morland Blues. Quite the game against Pasco Vale tonight. Your immediate thoughts surrounding what was a comprehensive victory?
Comprehensive victory. It was, in my opinion, it was a dominant victory. We were above of them pretty much the whole game. We did very well tonight.
Was anyone in particular that you thought for Morland was rather impressive in that result? We had an eye on Atai Ibrahim. We thought he was amazing. How did you see that game?
We don't have only one player. We are a squad. If one guy is playing well, we are all playing well. If one guy is down, we have everyone behind to support him. So we are as a family, as the man always says, we are a family and we must keep it that way. That's the way that the results are going to come.
And looking on to next week, not many words needed to describe the magnitude of the contests. Heading into your second bout against Fitzroy this season, what's the squad feeling? How are they feeling going into it?
We are prepared. We are ready. We have to go there and do our best and to try to bring the result. Otherwise, that's it. We're done. So we're having one last chance. Actually, it's one chance every week. So first we were thinking about this week. We got the job done. Now we are focusing the next week. Big game. I hope everyone come to watch. You can miss it.
Appreciate your time. Henrique Pimenta of the Morland Blues.
I grew up with low self-esteem. It was me and my mama, just us in the trauma. Hands up if you know what I mean. I see you, I feel you. I want you to know that you're not alone. I know what it's like not to have a home. Feel like I live in the end zone. I'm the one leading the drives. The crew riding around in a benzo. Red I'm in charge of my own fate. Left the excuses behind. Now I'm the illest violinist alive. I took the pain and I thrive, but look at me now.
A good futsal player has to be intelligent. It's the most important quality in a futsal player because in futsal play is very fast, and you have to think really fast. You don't have time, you don't have a space. They have to enjoy the game. This finally futsal or football or basketball or tennis, it's only a game, so they have to enjoy. If they don't enjoy the game, they don't improve. No, they know that we know as coaches that every day is good for improving your level, so you have to work hard every day. It's detailed, it's important for improve your career. The group is the key of success. If you don't have a union group, you can win some matches, you can win some tournaments, but finally you don't win the World Cup or you don't win the European Championship. You need a strong group and everybody go in the same direction. The futsal is totally different than in Europe or in other countries. I think there are good levels here in Australia. There are good players, so they have to work hard. And maybe in the future Australia is in the top.
with low self-esteem. Was me and my mama, just us in the trauma. Hands up if you know what I mean. I see you, I feel you. I want you to know that you're not alone. I know what it's like not to have a home. Feel like I live in the end zone. I'm the one leading the drives. The crew riding round in a benzo. Red I'm in charge of my own fate. Left the excuses behind. Now I'm the illest violinist alive. I took the pain and I thrive. But look at me now.
A good futsal player has to be intelligent. It's the most important quality in a futsal player because in futsal play is very fast, and you have to think really fast. You don't have time, you don't have a space. They have to enjoy the game. This finally futsal or football or basketball or tennis, it's only a game, so they have to enjoy. If they don't enjoy the game, they don't improve. No? They know that we know as coaches that every day is good for improving your level, so you have to work hard every day. It's detail, it's important for improve your career. The group is the key of success. If you don't have a union group, you can win some matches, you can win some tournaments, but finally you don't win the World Cup or you don't win the European Championship. You need a strong group and everybody go in the same direction. The futsal is totally different than in Europe or in other countries. I think there are good levels here in Australia. There are good players, so they have to work hard. And maybe in the future Australia is in the top.
We turn for home for round 13. We close the show with Fitzroy and the Knights. Noticeable absentees from Jimmy Soufis and Gabriel Zabayos' contingent this evening. No Cosy Russo to speak of. Dare I say, there's another notable absentee that we just need to get confirmation on, although the name is on the team sheet. Not exactly sure if he's in the building. As for Nico Ignatiadis, lineup looks like this. Frano Saric in goal, Berard Bezatpour, Thomas Natoli, Yanni Pira and Seblok all take to court. As for Gabriel Zabayos, it's Mazen Abdallah the goalkeeper, Captain Scott Rogan, Michael Newen, Harry Robots and Josh Allen, and the captain of Scotty Rogan getting started very early on. Corner now for Fitzroy. They look to be in fine form for next week's Classico. Ben Shu, Kevin Lamb and Seb Wickett all on the bench. A couple of players we need confirmation on, of course. Joe just taking his time to come across. But meanwhile, getting across and scoring early. It took them inside 2 minutes for their number 2, Josh Allen, to rifle the net with a goal. And set up from the corner, left Allen all on his own. The ball just makes its way into the top corner. Fitzroy with a very early start. Altona with their backs against the wall already. As Natoli and Robotis came together. It's Victor Poblete who's on the bench alongside Ben Shu. For Fitzroy. As for the Altona Knights, Sinan Gulak, Aliano, Verapon, Daravong and Mark Saric all making up the bench. As Rogan looks to go around Natoli. The champions, hasn't taken them long at all. And well, Josh, we look towards next week in the Classico. Considering how Morland was so dominant in that performance, the scoreboard not exactly representative of it. But we simply cannot wait for next week's rendition of the Classico. You feel like in this contest, Josh, Fitzroy, we're looking to just, not to discredit Altona, but get themselves sharp and ready for their opponents of Morland.
Well, absolutely. No one's denying that Morland and Altona are two different ball games. But Altona bring their own challenges as well. And obviously, from an audience perspective, a squad perspective, and a league perspective, next week's the big one. Everyone wants to tune in. Everyone wants to watch. It's going to be the big game, if not the biggest game of the season. They need to win. That is Morland. They need to take on Fitzroy. They need to actually beat them in the league. It's been a few seasons now, I'm pretty sure. So the odds aren't in their favour, but at the end of the day, in a game like that, it could go either way.
Well done from Yanni Pitta to cut off the pass intended for Allen. Josh uses his body. Now Scott Rogan trying to find the angle to let fly. Yanni Pitta confronted by Rogan. Chip ball won't reach lock. Yanni Pitta does really well. Has it for Berard Bezatpour. The Tigers back in numbers and get their shape quickly. Natoli, Altona asking some questions. Natoli's pass going afray. And now Frontal Saric misses the ball completely, and Allen misses a golden chance. That's a sentence I thought I'd never say, Josh. Saric just had a stretch beyond him.
It's unusual.
Josh Allen, well, he scores the difficult ones, but with no one in goal, he managed to put it wide.
Look, I don't think he was expecting Frana to give that one up so easily.
He's human after all.
Absolutely. I mean, it's just so... You couldn't believe from both sides that that happened.
Rather unexpected as Yanni Pitta has possession. Back towards Natoli. Altona happy to have possession. It means they keep Fitzroy away from the ball. Rogan pressing slightly. Natoli too much mustard on the pass there as Yanni Pitta couldn't really control it. Very early stages in this game, as in their usual selves, Fitzroy have it all in their control. Natoli takes over, however, has a chance towards goal. Bezapur is there also. Abdallah with a double save. So the Knights trying to find an equaliser. Wonder if they can ruffle the feathers of the Tigers this evening. Bezapur and Locke combining. Newen working it back to Scott Rogan and Abdallah. Captain taking over. Now Josh Allen. Robotis lurking. Rogan works it towards Michael Newen, a play in which Joe, our commissioner, favours heavily as a defensive-minded player for Fitzroy. But it will be Frano Saric's ball from this goal possession. Natoli. Peter lurking forward. Here's Seb Locke. What can the Maestro conjure up? That's nicely crafted. We'll remain with Seb Locke. Right in front of our cameraman, that of Jack. Works back towards Natoli. Yanni Pitta works it for Seb Locke. Bezapur also in the vicinity to try attain possession. Saric works towards Natoli. Pitta steps beyond Newen. And just can't trap it the way he was hoping to. Another player in which this season hasn't hit the heights in which he had in season 1 of 2024, Yanni Pitta. You can't exactly rule out the Knights or their little magician. They're truly in the thick of a playoff position this season. That avoided it, of course, in season 1 of 2024. Something which was rather held close to the heart of Nico Nadiadis in that result. Heavily tipped to be relegated at the start of that season, to avoid relegation and the playoffs completely with some effort. But as the season just starts to clear out in the gaping class between both Fitzroy and Fitzroy and Morland. Not to be for Pasco Vale this season, but well, it's getting rather conducive in that middle part of the ladder. Western City, of course, trailing by 2 games. They're firm candidates to be relegated. Had the bye in round 13. Mass exodus, of course, with Kevin Lamb, Aren Fung, Oscar Yee involved in that departure. Those departing players, and well, they haven't really responded adequately. It's been a real put-together team. Dama Georgie, from a management perspective, also had changed the club in which she was manager of, and well, Noel Sorma is quite this anonymous man within futsal. He's in attendance tonight, Noel, having a scout of next week's opposition as Eliano couldn't escape Seb Wickett, who's in possession now. Rogan is there with him. It's a bit confusing from a Knights perspective. Well, as Western City will enjoy the bye, they simply have to come out roaring in the weeks that follow. They had lost valiantly in defeat against United last week. It was 4-2 in the end. Kane in particular was a rather prosperous player on that occasion for City, but well, they simply have to try kickstart their campaign against the Knights next week. As Wicket, fine movement, not the fine result. As for this contest, Josh, well, the Knights had conceded early, but they've stemmed the bleeding at the moment. They're trying to find shape and find possession. It's a difficult question I'll put onto you, but what can they possibly do to unnerve Fitzroy and form some result go in their favour?
You really had to give me that question live on the air. That's that's such a difficult question. I'm not sure I have an answer for you. Fitzroy, so many teams have been stumped trying to take down this team, trying to unravel the mysterious way in which you can actually beat them. But the first step would have been not conceding a goal and try and hold defensively, I suppose. But I mean, at the end of the day, Adam, I'll tell you this, if I knew how to beat Fitzroy, I don't think I'd be here. I think I'd be employed by a serious futsal team managing.
Credit to the Knights so far, though. They haven't, since conceding a goal, they haven't exactly put their heads down. They're trying to be assertive in their shape, hold possession. Fitzroy just attentive and waiting to queue up in the middle as Rogan tries to go around both Pitta and Daliano. Allen lurking. Great ball from Kevin Lamb. I feel like tonight's a match that's specifically made for Wickett and Lamb to really try and mould themselves into the team. Players of real quality came in at the start of the season from both Western City and Western United. Fair understanding, of course, as opponents, as teammates, still trying to find that bond and mould themselves into this Fitzroy side. Wickett has had his fair share of youth action with Fitzroy. See what they can conjure up in this match against Altona, as that's gone all the way in! How has that gone in from Frano Saric? He completely wrong-footed Abdallah. He was too concerned about the movement of Mark. And it's one apiece. Abdallah with a goalkeeping calamity. The Mad Cat is human after all. And not many would have expected this. It's not the prettiest way, but it won't matter. The Knights on level terms. Bear in mind the force field nearly fell over upon the celebration. In his red wiggle goalkeeper outfit. Josh, if there's one way to do it, it's upon a mistake perhaps.
That's a goal right there. I mean, that's absolutely phenomenal from Saric, both Saric plural, you know, just a full Abdallah.
Oh, and Rogan wasn't too far away, nor was Allen. Not to cut you off there, Josh. The frame of the goal has had some involvement this evening. More at the commentary side. But Saric could simply watch as Rogan's effort just bounced right back off the post. It's almost flush. Aliano holds it up. He managed to spin away from wicket, as Abdallah was a bit overzealous for Lamb. But it had crept in, and I don't blame Abdallah. He had firm eyes for the movements of Mark Saric. It was a great ball from Frano, which crept its way in. Now we're currently at a 1-1 stalemate. Gulak, wicket, cuts it off. Seb for Rogan. SF for Allen. Cleared off the line by Mark Saric. Frano wanted to go and then said, hold the horses instead. I'll look to settle this down. Well, it's rather bemusing how your match winner can be your goalkeeper in futsal. Arguably the two of the most provocative goalkeepers in attacking retrospect on court at the moment. Both Frano Saric and Mazen Abdallah. As Frano currently on the scoreboard. You wonder if he gets a chance to run away, whether he can go all the way and find his second. Allen back towards Newen. Here's Rogan. Gulak in company. Newen, they're bearing down on them, the Tigers. Wickets there for Allen. Aliano happy to clear. So Abdallah rolls it for Newen. I've seen Mazen Abdallah on a couple of occasions this season go over the top. Be hard to do so with Frano Saric in goal. Wickets for Allen. Mark Saric, good use of the body. Now Natoli bearing down on Abdallah. Newen had to slide in. That was half a sniff from the Knights, and you feel as if, Josh, that's what they're playing for. You just wonder if that might have been someone else. The result would have been different. That's a poor pass from Aliano, and now Rogan wants to go beyond Natoli. Good backtracking from Daniel, however, prevents anything from forthcoming. But Jimmy Soufis and Gabriel Zabas have called for a timeout. Not sure they would have expected the game to be at the current stage it's at. One apiece between the Knights and the Tigers as we cross to a short timeout break.
A good futsal player has to be intelligent. It's the most important quality in a futsal player because in futsal play is very fast, and you have to think really fast. You don't have time, you don't have a space. They have to enjoy the game. This finally futsal or football or basketball or tennis, it's only a game, so they have to enjoy. If they don't enjoy the game, they don't improve. No, they know that we know as coaches that every day is good for improving your level, so you have to work hard every day. It's detail, it's important for improve your career. The group is the key of success. If you don't have a union group, you can win some matches, you can win some tournaments, but finally you don't win the World Cup or you don't win the European Championship. You need a strong group and everybody go in the same direction. The futsal is totally different than in Europe or in other countries. I think there are good levels here in Australia. There are good players, so they have to work hard and maybe in the future Australia is in the top.
Corner for the Tigers. Allen caught in the crossfire of it. Bezadpour. Pitta going towards Rogan. Bouncing everywhere. Nani and Rogan coming together. What can Flash provide? It bounces. Only Pitta desperate to just get some meterage on the ball further down the court. Rogan, Robotis, can't turn away, confronted by both Natoli and Bezadpour. The Knights, the game plan so far, just stifling Fitzroy in their movement. Newen on towards Allen. Give and go between the two. Newen, cross court, centering ball for Rogan. Bezardpour wants to go around the world, gets it to Yanni Peter! What a move from the freight train and the magician, nearly providing the magic touch. And that's what the Knights and Nico Ignatiadis are looking for. They're looking to break with real purpose upon all that soaking in of the pressure from the Tigers. It's nearly paying dividends. Newen receives and fires wide. Josh, I like what I'm seeing from Altona.
Well, they've got a game plan, Adam, and they're sticking to it. They're getting shots off against Fitzroy, and that's the start. They'll have to do more, but at this stage, it's in a prime position for Altona. If they can just hold off for the next 26 minutes, 48 seconds, they might be able to take Fitzroy to penalties.
I don't mean to huff and puff into the microphone, but it is not just mildly frustrating, it is very frustrating to see sides commit that level of skill error. Natoli is quite the experienced, esteemed player of this competition. Quite the knight in his own right. Shouldn't be giving up possession that cheaply. He was lucky that Rogan had a blunder of his own. That's a great ball from Locke. Natoli acknowledged. Here's Pitta. Allen on Bezardpour. The Knights, Josh, at the meantime, as aforementioned, executing this game plan. Benchu upon Locke as he holds up with his body. Seb keeping it within his jurisdiction. Earns a side ball. Bear in mind, the Tigers are up against Frano Saric. He's no goalkeeping slouch in his own right. His effort, however, is going to hit me in commentary. Jesus, Frano. Mind the profanity. That ball has ended up in the commentator's box. I've got a match souvenir, Josh. I'm going to wait for the camera. I've got a match souvenir. I wish it panned towards us. I've got the match ball in my hand. That's a first.
I hope we have a replay of that. That is a first.
He didn't like what I was saying about him. Poblete wants the ball back. That's gone right in towards the camera. Look at that.
Look at that. And look at your reaction, Adam. Just out of pure fear.
I mean, it wasn't expected. That's why. But it was hit with such power. I'm glad it sort of was cushioned on its journey. Poblete wanted the back and had to give it back towards him. As Rogan tried to provide it, Ciaras has it within his hands. Oh, a little intermediate, intertwined story of the match ball. Yanni Pitta, great ball! Thomas Natoli had to provide the finishing touch. The magician, that's vintage Yanni Pitta. And it nearly paid the ultimate price. Would have been a lead for the Knights. Oh, Natoli, the movement was great. The finish, not so much. Sliding doors moment, that, Josh.
Well, they have to be clinical. They have to do their job, really, and finish the darn ball in those situations. If you're Altona, you're kicking yourself. You get a good chance like that against Fitzroy, you ought to put it away.
Seb Locke wants to get some more movement forward. Aliano back towards Sebastian. Bezardpour now in the mix. Barrard flicking on towards Yanni Pitta. Crafty, not overcooking it. They make it work towards Seb Locke. Aliano, Rogan had to lunge. Now Ben Shu. Tried to dance around. Seb Locke. Saric thought about going. Will hush the ball. Bezardpour. Well, he was looking as Abdallah wanted to go right over the top. It was hit with such power from Mazen. And honest to God, would have not have surprised me if that had gone in. It's not even a surprise anymore if Abdallah pulls that off. He's done it time and time again. Poblete on court, trying to cause some problems, the number 9. Rogan towards Chu. Back towards the captain. Newen and Rogan combining. Poblete.
Ooh.
Might have been there.
There we are.
Oh, Bezardpour leading the brigade of protests, but it will be a foul and a dead ball for the Tigers to try conjure something up from.
I mean, if we take a look at that quickly, while we have time, Adam, it definitely looks like he obstructed Rogan's path. Good foul call.
Newen will jostle away from the ball as Rogan will find the net. It goes right through the wall. And the Tigers reinstate their lead in a flash with Scott Rogan on the cusp of half-time. You dissect this play here. Yanni Pitta runs right in front of where he had to be, and that's exactly where the ball went. The magician just having the rabbit pulled out of his hat. Not in the positive way in which he usually would.
I was going to say, what's the point of a wall in that situation? Roll the red carpet.
It's just frustrating, to be frank, even from a neutral standpoint. Not that Fitzroy need anything going their way. They've been rather up against it in this contest. Altona have been playing so well until that moment. Lapse in concentration from a player in which is rather coveted for them, that of Yanni Pitta. As Fitzroy back in front, and they're chasing the game yet again. It was rather hard for Altona to be on level peggy terms. It was rather fortuitous the way they got there. But they're chasing it yet again. 90 seconds left, Rogan. Gulak saying, well, you have to go around me. Rogan shifts it on towards Newen. Oh, Poblete got in the way of Frano Saric, and he wasn't very happy about that. It's rather incensed, the big red wiggle. Josh, you like that one?
It's creative. It's creative. I'm not sure how Frano will like that one, but
there's nothing wrong with Murray of the Wiggles. Just have to try skirmish their way back in this contest. Mark Saric onto the reverse option towards Yanni Pitta. He lunges to get there. Gulak back towards Frano. Great ball towards Gulak. Steps beyond Poblete. Two big boys collide. Seconds bearing down. Here's Mark Saric. Yanni Pitta. What can he pull out the magician's hat? Our camera is just inches away from being smashed into pieces, Josh. It's done a couple of times this evening.
Don't tell me that.
Knock on wood. Might adjust as Allen tries to go around the world. Gulak, is there one last-ditch attempt from the Knights? Aliana could have threaded the needle. Poblete bearing down. Saric wants the ball. He wants to launch a final attack as I cross my words together. Allen will fire, and on the cusp of half-time, Josh Allen will grab his second goal in some fashion. The Tigers will head into half-time with a 2-goal lead. How it changes the team talks for both Gabriel Ceballos and Nico Ignatiadis. We won't be sure. It's all to play for in the second half as we turn for home on round 13. Fitzroy with a 2-goal lead as we cross to our final half-time break of the evening.
A good futsal player has to be intelligent. It's the most important quality in a futsal player because in futsal play is very fast, and you have to think really fast. You don't have time, you don't have a space. They have to enjoy the game. This finally futsal or football or basketball or tennis, it's only a game, so they have to enjoy. If they don't enjoy the game, they don't improve. No, they know that. We know as coaches that every day is good for improving your level, so you have to work hard every day. It's detail, it's important for improve your career. The group is the key of success. If you don't have a union group, you can win some matches, you can win some tournaments, but finally you don't win the World Cup or you don't win the European Championship. You need a strong group and everybody go in the same direction. the futsal is totally different than in Europe or in other countries. I think there are good levels here in Australia. There are good players, so they have to work hard. And maybe in the future Australia is in the top.
Our final half of round 13 has commenced. What can the Knights conjure up? Sliding doors moments for them in this contest. They had, well, the argument, Josh, of being in this contest until Fitzroy, in their customary selves, pull off nearly a moment for the ages. Abdallah to Rogan, nearly combining. They haven't exactly ignited yet, the Tigers. They've just done what's enough. Fair to say, Josh, that, well, if the Knights had converted those half chances, we could have had a ball game on our hands.
Well, they definitely had chances to score, but at the end of the day, you know, as we were discussing in the break, it's still Fitzroy, and it's easy. It's harder to do than just saying score your chances. Obviously, there's an immense amount of pressure that the Fitzroy boys put on you. No matter where you are in the court, there's always that corner of your eye thinking, oh, where they're going to come from. They're going to come get me. They're going to stop this ball. How are they going to beat me in this situation? It's very difficult. But if Altona come out and actually score those chances and keep that momentum, I don't see why they can't draw this game.
Well, that's the thoughts of Josh. And Sarge has been caught upon a fair bit. He was beaten by his own wall, well, in all fairness, considering Rogan, who was instinctive as he pickpockets. Natoli bears down on Aliano. It's Scott Rogan. Fernando Saric just not exactly content with how Rogan was able to step in. Corner for Fitzroy. Game on their terms, despite not really showcasing too much so far this evening. Back to worked back towards Abdallah. Robotis just bobbles off his head. Allen back to Robotis. They're queuing up.
What a save.
Sarich will save. Oh, and Harry on that occasion, his head moved like a bobblehead, Josh. The ball was practically falconed in towards him. He somehow cushioned the head up back to Allen and, well, forced Frano into a frantic save. As Mark, that of Sarich, moves it on to Natoli. Do the Knights have anything left in them? A lot of time left in this contest, of course. They defended rather soundly. Gulak has to hold it up. He's been confronted. Lets it roll back towards the keeper. As Gulak measures the pass. Natoli. Gulak will let fly. Abdallah off the rebound. Look to get it moving quickly. Rogan awaits the movement of wicket. Passage opens up for Rogan. Now Saric wants to go up against his respective captain. Frano caught in no man's land. Oh, and that's going to be what ruffles the feathers of the Tigers, Josh. A bit of movement from the man in red.
Well, he can do that so-called movement like no one else in this league. His ability with his feet, second to none, I say. Maybe Ibrahim Haib is pretty good with his feet. I know you disagree, but I think he's good with his feet.
He's certainly building upon that aspect of his game. He's rather quite the shot stopper. Good old Ibi. Certainly filled some very large shoes of Apostolakis for Morland in his absence. As Allen measures it back to Robotis, it's right off the training court. And the Tigers are loving this at the moment. They're not really exhibiting their full display of power, but still rather comfortable against the Knights. Have a 3-goal lead, 4-1 the score. Plenty of time left, of course. Whichever way this game can go, it might blow out in the end. Nothing Sarge could have done to prevent it as Bezapor, heavy touch. Robotis has Allen.
Oh, it's again.
Brilliant step over. The pass, not so much. Bezapor caught on it, gets it back. Upa-dupa move allows for Piro to be in jurisdiction. With the wicket shutting things down. As Pira tries to go around a couple of Fitzroy shirts. Rogan on towards Allen. Rogan gets it back. Here's Robotis. Fitzroy looking comfortable in possession. Allen's comes short. Right around Mark Saric. Josh Allen deflecting ball. Pira trying to latch onto that Bezapor pass. Fitzroy with numbers. Rogan, they're squaring up. The Scorpion was the idea from Allen. Wickets pass a bit too much as they bear down on the big red car of Frano Saric. Gulak just not able to find anybody. In fact, found Jimmy Sufis. There's the wizard, Seb Wicket. Kevin Lamb. What can Clutch provide? Pira, that's well done. It's in the last fixture against these two sides where, jeez, it was that ball was coming right towards us. Mind the brief break in concentration there. I tell you what, Josh, I think I want some fiberglass installed in front of it just for that added layer of security. Not that we already have it, of course, but this net is looking rather frail in front of me.
What's going on there, Adam? Losing concentration.
As Newen stabs the ball towards Robotis. The big red carve, the force field, throws it right towards Abdallah. On that previous point, it was in the reverse fixture where it was Virapon Daravong who was in goal when Abdallah went over the top and had converted. That might have been, in fact, when Chavallo and I had teamed up in commentary all those rounds ago. Of course, Michael was featured for the women's competition this Wednesday. Just going from strength to strength at the moment. Cheering in both Han Tran and, on occasion, Michael Chavallo's rendition of a Wednesday night action. Berard Bezadpour just not able to catch that as adequately as he might have hoped. We lost the ball tonight. Josh Angelatos gifted one to the roof. As Kevin Lamb will combine with Robotis, have a shot right beyond Frano Saric. And Clutch in new colours, just comfortable out there at the moment. Great movement from Kevin. The finish equal to it. 5-1 the score. Fitzroy just running away with it now. Bezapor, great ball for Yanni Pira. Abdallah will try it, but he won't succeed with it. Yet again, it's gravitating towards the commentary position, Josh.
They might have a vendetta against you, Adam. Really.
I understand there's times in which, you know, things, I might say things which people might not agree with, but in the words of Les Murray, this is the voice you'll be hearing. You don't like it, switch it off.
I'll be taking the life insurance policy out.
Great save there from Frano Saric. Had to readjust his positioning accordingly. As Lamb all the way at the movement of Rogan. Oofed. There's a gift for Jack, who is fortunate that the bollards were put up in the camera position. The media team's went up against it tonight, dare I say. Our cameraman's had a couple of balls shot towards his territory. Josh has been impeded a couple of times. I've had a ball end up in commentary. Love for the media people as Bezardport, Menton loves all of us, has it stolen by Rogan. Saric, nice read. Lamry adjusts, Newen away from Pira. Robotis takes a touch, deflects onto the posts. The ball has gravitated on a hat-trick of occasions too this evening. Saric in the way for Robotis, who's trying to get a ball towards the D. Lamb had shape, but over the bar. Bezapur back towards Natoli. On the deck towards Saric. It's a nice ball. Not a nice shot. Ben Chu to come on for Robotis. What can the youngster provide to the contest? He's made rather the headwaves for Fitzroy's Youth Academy, signing on from FC Carlton Hart. Lamb through the legs. Not through Pira. It's all done from Mark Saric, you know. And now Bezardport could be away. The freight train was wheeling, but not dealing. The Capricciosa pizza enthusiast of Adam Cooper watching on behind the goal with Christos Apostolakis. Our Commissioner Joe having a chat to those in attendance. As Bezapur might have time, he flicks towards Natoli. Oh, they worked it so well. Aliano hit the bar. The Knights ever so close to the caper of the finish. See Joe just getting hospitable to those in the stands. Might try to get him on commentary to close out the show.
I'm sure you want that for our viewers.
Oh, Joe, he's indicating he won't be joining me. You might see it on his screen. He's not coming across. Josh with some harsh words, perhaps.
Truth hurts, Adam. Truth hurts.
Well, if they're saying that about Joe, could imagine what they're saying about the rest of us. As Natoli backheels towards the big red machine of Frano Saric, and well, the ball won't travel near or far on that occasion for him. Ben Chu works it back towards Mr. Clutch. Allen on towards Newen. Lamb plucks it out the sky from Peter. Allen gets the turnover, steps inside, well, towards Aliano was Natoli. Lamb getting there, back heel was Ben Chu. That would have capped off a nice goal now. Choo chugga, the big red car's going for a journey. He wanted to travel near or travel far, but never really got anywhere. As he had to backtrack there, Frano Saric. As Joe, our commissioner, puts the headset on.
Oh, gee.
Josh is in for a field day. Welcome, Joe, to the big leagues of Series Futsal.
Big leagues? I don't know about that.
It's a pleasure to have you alongside me, Joe. And
is my mic on? Oh, it is on now. Yes, now I can hear myself. I don't know if this is a big league, but sure, I'll take your words up for it.
If anything, we'd like to have a gauge from our listeners at home. I've been pushing for the last few weeks.
Yep.
For Joe and Josh to establish a written format for emerging journalists like myself and those who want to write in the off-season.
I really walked
There's a lot of written content, Joe, and well, we'll put it on our viewers at home. We're trying to get a bit of a petition rallying, perhaps. We want to have some written content on our socials.
I'll speak to my boss and see if we can accommodate that on our Series Futsal website. So those that are not aware, we actually do have a Series Futsal website. It's gone through a whole new, I'm not sure if renovation is the word for it, but it's gone through a whole new revamp. And there's interesting stuff that you'll be able to search your favorite players, get to see all their season stats and all the past season stats for each player and team as well. You'll be able to see how many teams are getting the red cards and the yellow cards. So videos, and yeah, hopefully we can push for articles.
Well, given the revamp and rejuvenation of the website is forthcoming, I expect to have an articles column to feature in there, Joe and Josh. And Peter, if you're listening,
Hopefully,
There's a lot of content that goes behind, this happens behind the scenes. There's a lot of layers of, well, aspects of our game we'd like to bring to the limelight. That, of course, through written articles. And, well, perhaps, I know Nick Parthamos in recent weeks has been working on an X platform to showcase to a broad audience all our magic that occurs on a Friday, Wednesday and Sunday nights, respectively, on a serious futsal court here in Thomastown. Let's just perhaps bring this to that next level as Bezatpur. So you can see the whistle sounding. A bit to unpack there.
I'm not sure what was given. I think the referees are a bit, I don't think they're on the same level here. It seems one referee is calling a foul on Bezatpur, and it seems the other ref is calling against Bezatpur, as we have. Oh yeah, he's done his super duper and taking Michael Nguyen out, and unfortunately Michael Nguyen is limping and getting replaced by Scott Rogan, who I can see has been put down as a nomination for September Player of the Month. I'm not sure when the media team will be releasing who the winner is, but there's still some interesting players and lineup that we have for the September Player of the Month.
Well, Saturday, Joe.
On Saturday, which is
Saturday.
tomorrow.
It's listed there on the post.
There we
Saturday, 12th of October.
Saturday, tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen. You heard it here first from Joshua Fusco. What is happening here is we'll be posting the anticipated men's. Are we posting women as well?
Same time.
So women and men's player of the month for last month, September, will be announced on our social media platform with a lot of interesting players there. Let me see if I can bring that up here. So the nomination for the men's player of the month is currently playing in goals for Altona Front of Sarek. In on field for Fitzroy, there's 3 Fitzroy stars here. We've got Corey Sewell, Scott Rogan, and Cosimo Russo. And a player that is currently informed and hot at the moment for Western United, Sakawa Jaren. And of course, the player that called out Michael Tiaras, Matthias Asamsao.
Joe has not forgotten.
Nah, never. Nothing gets forgotten here at the Series Arena. And looking at the women's nomination, Western United is dominating with 3 nominees. Leila Abdulatif, Clarissa Allerton, I believe this is the 2nd or 3rd time she's actually been nominated. And of course, the sister of Saka Wajaren is here as well, Balkis. We've got from Melbourne Arcu, Mary Ubik and Jessica Al. And a player that has gone out of action but now is back playing for Fitzroy, Rebecca Saber, is also up for the September Player of the Month. So all will be announced tomorrow on our social media, as you heard from Josh Fusco. 12 p.m. on the dot, on the clock. It's probably already been scheduled. All you need to do is turn your notification on if you're not following us. And it is an unfortunate goal here. And Altona once again goes behind. It is 7 goals to 1. And ladies and gentlemen, tell you what, my co-commentator, you can feel the disappointment on his face. I hope we can, hopefully if Peter's listening to us as well, hopefully we can get a commentator's camera angle here.
He's just laughing, isn't he?
Yeah.
No, I'm not, sorry, I saw my reaction.
That's not right.
No, I'm not laughing at the contest. I'm saying I've seen my reaction to that goal. It somewhat summed up the frustrations in which I've had with the Knights this evening, to be frank. They had genuine moments in this match to cause the Tigers problems. They hadn't taken them. And as an admirer of Behrad Bezatpur, Nikot Nadiadis, Altona Knights, I'm a massive fan, dare I say. Not that I should have any preference of sides that I like in the competition. I'm very neutral. But I've got a soft spot for the Knights. They had chances tonight. Of course, Fitzroy are a different kettle of fish. But to concede a goal like that, it's somewhat symbolic of what they've been up against. And well, it's not that they didn't have their moments, Joe and Josh. They certainly had opportunities for that not to occur. They hadn't taken them, and that's what happens with Fitzroy, I suppose. And As Bezapor looks to get away, skews it towards Gulak. Poblete in the way, but Joe and Josh, perhaps a time to start foreshadowing next week's results. The Classico, the second one of season 2 of 2024. What can we expect, gentlemen? I'll start with Joe.
Nothing really. I don't think there's anything. I don't think there's going to be fireworks, to be honest. We saw the. Look, from what I can see, Morland really needs to win this game to keep the tie to hopes up and running. So it is for this. It's for them to lose, actually. So I think they're going to come in with all the stars they can. We haven't really seen D'Souza in 2 weeks now, so I'm sure he's been rested. I'm not sure if there's going to be any new names that will be joining, but at the moment, Kevin Dos Santos is in.
Wait a minute there, Joe. It's Mazen Abdallah, the Mad Cat. He's still going. I had to stop you there. He released his inner Fernando Saric. He's not quite the big red car, but he's certainly the big blue machine that wanted to go for a journey. And, well, let's watch this again. Look at Bezapor having a smile as well, just cracking one. And he all went right until he got towards Gulak. He's like, get out of here,
Panicked
mate.
a little bit.
Perhaps he did, but, well, Saric wanted the ball, and we'll perhaps bleed back into that point we're making about the Blues.
So, yeah, look, I think Morland will be coming with a strong squad, and I'll be expecting fireworks and hopefully a packed stadium. The meteorologists are, informing us that it's going to be a very nice, warm weather, so hopefully we can have crowd here to support the El Clasico of the Series Futsal here at the arena in Thomastown.
Tell you what.
There's not really nothing much to say about Fitzroy. They're very stubborn. You can't ride them off regardless of what. Very, very tough to ride them off.
Just upon that contest, it might be worth mentioning. And upon that evening, if the weather is nice, it's a scramble at goal. Bezapor was there. Timeout's been called by Jimmy Soufis. Abdallah will lead some protests, but it will be turned in for a consolation prize. We're going to cross to a short timeout break just at the culmination of this replay here.
Mazen was a bit confused there.
I don't blame him. I'm not sure why Robotis has rekindled with his keeper. I'm guessing he's trying to force a clearance out of Mazen, but it's been a few weird goals in this contest so far.
I was going to say, I think Fitzroy might be playing fifth man just to avoid conceding any more goals. And exactly what I had in mind. Scotty Rogan is getting ready for that. And I think at this point, look, they just want to see time out. Altona is very physically and very energetic. So in order for Fitzroy to avoid conceding any more goals, not that it goes matches anyways, what they're going to do is they're going to do their best to try and prevent them from scoring any goals.
We'll cross to a short break. Stay with us. The fifth man has been called upon by Jimmy Soufis and Gabriel Zeballos. Scott Rogan in that kit. Rumour has it they train this every night, or once a week rather, at training. We've seen it being used. Joe, when was the last time we saw Scott Rogan in a keeper outfit? I can't recall, to be honest. It's been, I don't think in my time commentating,
he's actually a decent keeper too, to be fair.
Very good. Actually, very good.
I've seen him keep. Yeah, I've seen him keep. He's actually not bad.
It's called upon there as Yanni Pitter with a glancing header at the back stick. Josh, if you might recall, when was the last time we've seen this on a serious futsal court from Fitzroy?
I think they ran it against Altona last season. I could be wrong there. Joe, you can confirm.
Crazy. I think the refs might be able to confirm that.
Well, the keeper, that of Scott Rogan, said to rekindle, the fifth man being called upon. New in the last line of defence. Back into that point about the Blues and the Tigers next week. Of course, Robson de Souza, very powerful player to come back in the fray for Milton Serkos. He's had a couple of goals, of course, against the Tigers in recent years.
Oh, that was a bit of a missed pass by Kevin Lamb.
Bezapo.
Again. No. Bezapo scores nice and easy. I think Kevin Lamb should have been able to put that away. A cheap chance to, really give to Altona. And now they are back 6-3. The question is this going to backfire on Jimmy Sufis?
I don't think
Well,
so.
Josh doesn't reckon, but dare I say it might be a stroke of genius from Jimmy Sufis to perhaps just, not that Morland to taking this game with a grain of salt, but perhaps just build a false sense of security. Build when in midweek Milton is doing his, tactician talks and having a look at the opposition and trying to tactically work around them. Does this maybe throw a spanner in what those potential talks could have been?
I don't think so. Look, these two, you have to remember, these two sides play each other 3 times a season, every
6
season.
times a year.
You know what I mean? They play.
To be fair, Josh, they
yeah.
play more than 3 a season.
Well, of course, yeah, Clubs Cup,
Yeah.
Clubs Cup. So basically, the point is they play each other so often that a game against Altona might do a little bit to maybe jerry the Morland squad, I'd say, but not. It's not the be-all or end-all. There's a bigger game plan. There's bigger study to the game. These guys know each other inside out.
And now it's Altona to play the 5th man. Front of Sarek goes for the tackle. Who is it there? Yanni Pira. Oh, no, Bezapo. Yanni Pira now with the ball. Finds Mark Sarek. Back to Sarek. Another Sarek. Back to
Sarek or
Sarek.
Saric?
I use it interchangeably. It is Sarek or Saric.
I'll tell you what, have you seen in the Premier League, Joe, how they have...
Yeah, we should do that. Eh?
We need to
Bruno
do that, Josh.
Fernandes.
We have to have a camera up when we're doing all our promos.
Yeah, Josh, we need that.
And we have to have content running of all the players pronouncing their names.
Yes,
it
Josh.
would be box office. Josh, add that to the
You think
list.
it's box office?
Make it happen. Tell the teams to come in at least 20 minutes earlier. And then we make...
And I can write an article on it as well with our new website.
I'll talk to the media manager and he'll have something to say.
Rogan tried his best Mazen Abdallah impersonation. Gulak hit the crossbar from it.
Jimmy having a sook at referee Nejmi.
That was said by Joe.
Hey, commentators, I don't think we are really restricted in what we say, are we?
I don't think he was having a sook. I think he was just completing his case.
Once again,
In
that
other
was
ways,
said
was
by Joe.
having a sook.
All right, then.
With Jimmy Sufis.
We'll go there.
This player resumes on court. Things distracting the commentators' contingent at the moment. Nothing too distracting about this result we're witnessing at the moment. Rogan towards Robotis. Lamb is an option. Rogan wanting the ball centrally. Ciaris watching on. Time ticking down. Rogan is there. Natoli steps in. Saric thought about it. Tried it in the end.
Michael Nguyen, the last line of defense. Somebody get this guy a contract with the ADF, Australian Defence Force.
Once again, that was said by Joe as the big red machine. The ball travelled away and travelled far. He took his time. He was patient, the big red car. But Michael Nguyen, last line of defence, got back in time and was there to clear. Rogan showcasing his goalkeeping ability.
Josh,
And he's going to try it. Is he? No, he's not.
we need a special goalkeeping card for Scotty Rogan. 99 placement, 99 reflexes,
He's a great. He really is a good
99 shooting.
He really is.
Friend of
Saric
Sarek.
wants to go on a run. He collides with Rogan. Allen's there. Scott is there. He toys with Yanni Pitta. And the magician comes out on top.
I love how the two keepers came out and challenged each other. But of course, Scotty more of a on-field player. And Harry Robotis, the silent killer. Unfortunately, couldn't do much with that.
Bezapour tried to poke it on towards Saric. 22 seconds left of round 13. Gents, our thoughts on what was the spotlight moment? For me, it had to be Adam Cooper. It had to be the goal.
Mate,
It had to be that.
That's a
I think
great
that's
goal.
a goal of the season right there, contender. Just saying. There could be other goals I can't remember. Actually, you know what? Saka Wajari scored also another banger. But we should put both together and see which one is good. Yeah, I think he scored a banger. But Hayes was from halfway, whereas Cooper's one was a bit further back. That was beautiful. It was just magical. It's 3 goals.
Well, Alan thought about trying it. He won't, in fact, as that will sound out round 13. It was a strange contest, in truth. The Knights had abundance of chances, perhaps. Fitzroy, well, we're in idle, but got the job done, as they always do. Full-time score had a Fitzroy 6, Altona 3. We'll cross to our final ad break of the evening. Our post-match player interview to be forthcoming. Before we let you go from our commentary position, Joe.
Yes, sir.
You mentioned it was Adam Cooper's moment. Josh, is that not up for dispute?
Felipe also had a great goal, to be honest with you. Felipe's goal was beautiful, but yeah, I'd have to say Adam Cooper's goal was absolutely a sight to behold.
An honourable mention, perhaps, before we let you go, would have had to have been the Raging Bull. I liked his finish, which kick-started the scoring for Pasco Vale. That's just my 2 cents. We're going to cross to our final ad break of the evening. We have our post-match player interview coming up very shortly.
Join us on Championship Hour on Sunday. This is an ad for Championship Hour. Join us 6:30 p.m. every Sunday.
Feel like I live in the end zone. I'm the one leading the drives. The crew riding round in a benzo. Red I'm in charge of my own fate. Left the excuses behind. Now I'm the illest violinist alive. I took the pain and I thrive, but look at me now.
A good futsal player has to be intelligent.
We're joined by Ben Chu of the Fitzroy Tigers. It was quite the performance tonight against Altona. Your immediate thoughts about that match?
Yeah, I think we stuck to the game plan, moved the ball. We knew we were going to have a lot of the ball. But yeah, I think we did well to stay patient. You know, they stayed in the game pretty early on, grabbed the goal early in the first half as well. But yeah, good to get the win.
Not so much about tonight, more about yourself and moulding into this Fitzroy side, being under the guidance of Scott Rogan, Jimmy Soufis. As a player, how beneficial has it been for your career?
Yeah, I'm pretty young, so it definitely helps learning and training with these boys every week. Pick up a lot of good tips, and yeah, they're really supportive, so it makes the transition really easy.
Next week, arguably your biggest test as a player, coming up against the Morland Blues, a game in which they need to win to remain competitive in this season. Individually, how are you feeling going into that contest?
I mean, I've played Morland before, but obviously not at this high level of anticipation, I guess. So I think we just stick to what we do. Nothing really changes. Obviously, we know it's a big game, but we have belief in ourselves that we're going to get the result.
Appreciate your time. Enjoy your Friday night. That was Ben Chu of Fitzroy. And that closes out round 13 of our men's series futsal competition. Join us next week for the Classico when Fitzroy lock horns with Morland. Until next time, I've been Adam Palombi. Thank you for your time and catch you next week.